Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coop.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today. You know what, Reid? You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Chapter.
Go now? Is that what you mean, Coop?
Oh!
Go now. We're going now. Edmonton Elks practicing game in Regina against the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Friday. Have you noticed that's always how Americans say it?
Saskatchewan.
They overpronounce it.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, not Saskatchewan. They play these. Do you remember when CFL games were on American network television during the strike in 81 or 82?
I do not.
Yeah, I remember. My uncle Bill passed away several years ago. He was a big sports fan, and him and my aunt obviously lived in Edmonton, and he had cable. So like when you're coming in for Alder Flats or Evansburg, and your uncle who's a sports fan has cable, you're like, when are we going to Uncle Bill's? You know, I'm like 6, 7, 8 years old. Because he'd always have NBA on or NFL in the fall and stuff like that. And when was the NFL strike? I want to say it was 1981. So the NFL went on strike. By the way, I just want to remind everybody, I had no idea I was going to talk about this until 4 seconds before I started talking about it. I have something else planned for you for the intro to the show. This is technically the pre-intro to the show.
Okay.
This is like the opening band. So when did it, 82 must have been the strike, maybe. So anyway, they were sure the NFL networks, 1982, started showing CFL games, and I remember watching with my uncle, and my dad would have been there too. And like I think one of the announcers made like a blatant like mistake describing the rules or what a single was or the size of the field. And then I don't know if it was Dave Cutler, but it was some straight-on kicker, and he used some kind of a rubber band, like around his foot up behind his ankle. Dave Cutler. It was Cutler who did that. Yeah, and they were showing Dave Cutler. NBC broadcast 4 CFL games in the United States over 3 weeks during the 82 player strike. So it wasn't very many, but it was a few. Anyway, the Elks will play the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Friday. They are massive underdogs in that game.
9.5 points.
I thought it was 13.5.
Apparently it was earlier.
Well, it was earlier. The
now
line's
it's
already
9.5. 13's a lot, but
the Riders just pounded the BC Lions. Don't let the 6-point difference fool you. And the BC Lions pounded the Edmonton Elks.
There's a reason they play the games, Reid.
True.
And there's someone in this office, I won't name names, who is quite optimistic in an Elks victory this Friday.
I don't know why he would be. But
how do you know it's a he?
Yeah, okay, could be. Could be. So anyway, yes, Matt Hyman in the Nasty Chest says, did Reid say 81 or 82? I said both, but 82 is correct. The NFL struck in 82 and played a 9-game regular season with expanded playoffs. So, reports are that Ford and Fajardo are splitting reps at quarterback. We are hoping to have an Elks guest on the show a little bit later on. We may not confirm that until they are done practice at 4 o'clock. They're practicing later today because they did Monday Morning Magic at K-Days, which is a great thing. I remember the one year they didn't do it with Chris Jones, and they met with a lot of backlash. And then to his credit, Jones got the players there the next year and said, we're never missing this again. And then he went to Saskatchewan after that season, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk more about the Elks and the CFL. Interesting how the league is shaking down. Some things I think quite unpredictable from the start of the season. So when I was starting here at Edmonton Sports Talk when was it? It was announced almost a year ago, wasn't it? July 26th, the Nasty Bash was, where I wore the Smash Smash costume.
Yeah.
And you and I had met a couple times before that.
Yeah.
But basically, I was going on the fact that I wanted to work here. And, faith in Dustin Nielsen that you were going to be great to work with, which you have been. I think it's been better than I could have expected. Though, I went into this not knowing a lot about you. Really not. I knew that our initial meetings were very good and very positive, but not knowing what it would be like on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
And I still get asked sometimes by people. And on Saturday, I had a pint with a former Ched colleague. He's no longer there either, who was like, what's this Jason Milne guy like? And I'm like, yeah, he's great. Like, we get along. We have a very clean and, homey sense of humor. Never make any inappropriate jokes or anything like that. But he was like, yeah, well, like this buddy of mine says, like, did you ever think that it could have been a disaster for you? I'm like, no, not really. Like, I just had faith in it and I went along with it. But you still learn things about people. Like, you're learning things about me. I still learn things about you. That's part of life. That's part of friendship, Jay.
Yes.
Part of being colleagues. And I learned today, listening to the Hangout, that you are actually an absolute psychopath when it comes to driving your car. Like, to the point that it's alarming. To the point where if I had heard that before I started at EST, I might have said to Dustin, I'm not sure I want to do a show with that guy. He's insane.
Why?
Because you think that it's your right to pass everybody on a mountain climb, on a steep mountain climb.
It is. That's why there's a passing lane.
To the point that you would go 160 kilometers, not kilometers, kilometers.
Well, you gotta go. You gotta go fast to beat the semi trailer up ahead.
But to the point where you're almost reckless and competitive about it. It's not a race.
Well,
you're on a holiday. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't treat it like Mario Kart.
Yeah,
but
that was like, are you dropping banana when you pass somebody? Do you drop a banana? Yeah, like, do you get in the car and your family is like, or when your family gets in the car, why do you have a bunch of tortoise shells in the back of your station wagon? Because I assume you drive a station wagon.
Obviously.
Wood paneling?
Of course. It's a passing lane that I like to take advantage of. And especially if you're in the winter months, there's a lot of snow and debris that kick up behind those semis. I can't handle it.
You wouldn't have been good during my drive back from Jasper when you pretty much had to go 30 through the park.
Well, I mean, the conditions would suggest, will tell you how fast you can drive.
Well, yeah.
But I've got like driving on Highway 2, I've got that down to a science. You can go 127 kilometers an hour on Highway 2 and a cop's not even going to blink at you.
Well, is that the line?
That's it.
I thought it was 10 over. It's now 17 over.
Mm-hmm.
If it's nice conditions. And you're not swerving around, obviously.
And then, get out of the fast lane. That's all I'll say. If you're not overtaking somebody.
Oh, I agree.
Stay to the right.
Stay to the right.
Do not. Now, hand up. I have had my wife say, hey, jackass, move over to the right.
To you or to another driver?
To me. To remind me.
She's got a bullhorn out the window. Attention, jackass.
Yeah, so I have been guilty of that, but I'll get over.
All right. Well, that was I found you a little intense this morning, so I'm glad I know all the good things about you. And that's not one of the first things I learned about you where I'd be like, oh my God. Like, is this guy just going to be wanting everything to happen quickly all the time and like yelling at me? I'm like, hey, Jay, I'm going to go for lunch. And he's like, oh, no, go over for lunch. Get back here.
I will say this, though. As I age, I've found, like, we just did our trip out to Sycamoose.
Yeah.
And that's an arduous drive. It's a long day. And my wife was pleasantly surprised on the way out of how relaxing the drive was because I was just chill. I was not in a rush.
No, does she ever drive? Or do you like doing all the driving?
No, I always drive.
Because you want to, she doesn't want to. It's just
what it is.
Happened that way in the marriage.
It's never been discussed. Yeah. I've just always driven. And she's always, with the kids and handing stuff back and,
Right.
But I do like to drive.
What about when one of the kids is old enough to drive?
That's a good question. I'll still probably drive.
Yeah.
Because then I'll just be a annoying, obnoxious person sitting in the passenger seat.
Right.
You know, Grace and I went for another drive yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Wanted to. Good. We attempted backing up for a long stretch, backing out of a driveway.
Because she's coming up on learner's territory.
Yeah. And it went good. I'm not. This is a 93 Chev Silverado.
Okay.
There's no reverse cam.
There's no reverse. It doesn't go backwards.
Nor would I ever suggest that anybody simply uses that.
No, I agree.
Use your side mirrors, look back. So I taught her a couple little tricks. So she did pretty good. All in all, it was a successful trip.
Well, but as you know, I back into my garage.
Yeah, I back into my
down
driveway
a slope,
too.
and I don't use the camera.
No.
I might just to get started, but then I just feel better turning around and guiding it down.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what
you
you're
can
supposed to
see,
do.
Yeah, it's preferable as opposed to like never using your rear view
But
mirror.
I'm certain there's people out there that's all they use is their backup camera. And that's not good.
No,
you need
because
to know your surroundings.
Yeah, you got to still look around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He is Jason Milne. I am Reid Wilkins. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. The Coob is here, Zachary Kubish, as our technical producer and sports update deliverer. Coob, how you doing?
Doing great, man.
Coob's watching Pokemon cartoons on his computer.
Watching Bakugan.
In this week's episode, Pikachu gets up to some mischief. Would that be a Pokemon plot? Isn't Pikachu a Pokemon?
Yeah. Well,
There's
it's a very sad story, Pokemon, though. I don't want to get that deep, but they're in the Pokeballs,
so
they get captured and they can't go anywhere.
There's 4 Pokemon: Pikachu, Peekaboo, Mikachu, and Tikachu. Those are the 4 Pokemon?
You're forgetting I'll peek at you.
Oh, I'll Pikachu.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
5th one. Yeah.
That's sick. Hope you're having a great Monday. Elks practicing for the Riders. Scotty Scheffler dominant at the British Open. Did you hear the Weekend was here on the weekend?
I did. I didn't know what was going on.
Apparently there were 54,000 people there or something like that. That's what I saw one of my friends who went post on Instagram. He's a massive star. I didn't know he was there until about 2 hours before the concert. I saw somebody, it might have even been Gager posting something.
He did.
And
he was working.
I was like, oh, is there a concert? I'm like, oh, the
I
Weekend.
asked, I'm like, what is this? It looks like they're hosting the Emmys at Commonwealth
Right.
with that big thing. The only thing I saw was a fight in the stands.
Why would people fight?
Alcohol, Reid.
The Weekend sold more than 54,200 tickets, according to Live Nation, for his concert at Commonwealth Stadium. He's a massive star. And he did, I looked at the set list, he does 38 songs or something like that.
I couldn't name any of them.
I could name,
I know there's that one
okay, Blinding Lights, Starboy, I Feel It Coming.
Starboy. Yeah. Right.
The other one off that album.
I guess if you were to play his music, I wouldn't shut it off. But you got to be really in my wheelhouse for me to spend money and show up and make
I
a night
Can't
of
Feel
it.
My Face. Isn't that him? Is that a song?
Yeah. I believe that's him. I don't know if that's yeah. You've named 4 songs
Thank you.
from the Weekend.
And I know there's one that I'm forgetting. It was this album cover where he's got a bloody nose on the front, the lead single off that album.
Like After Hours or something.
Yeah, I can't
don't know.
remember.
Yeah.
Hey, I kind of dabbled in a bunch of different music, Jay. So Jay was just talking about his wonderful wife, April. Happy anniversary, buddy.
Thank you.
So, of course, we're going to use something wonderful that happens in one or both of our real lives, in this case, Jay's, for the off-topic topic. And, of course, we're going to turn it into the most twisted approach as we can. The off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com. Give them a shout, 780-454-4536. We would like to know your wedding and or anniversary horror stories.
Ooh.
Doesn't have to be your wedding. Doesn't have to be your anniversary. It could be a wedding you attended, helped organize, were in the bridal party, or were a groomsman or whatever. Or an anniversary. Probably if an anniversary, it's going to be yours, I would guess. But I guess you could have gone to an anniversary party. So we would like a wedding/anniversary horror story.
Well, we got you do the ceremony, and then you go for pictures, right? That's traditionally how it goes, while the others go for a refreshment, and then everybody meets up again at the reception.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it's a 3-hour span-ish in between. So we went and did our pictures at the it's called Pioneer Acres in Irricana, Alberta.
Okay.
It's a tractor museum.
Oh, neat.
Or an antique tractor / old-timey stuff.
Okay.
So we did our pictures there. And as we've discussed in the show, most of them turned out to be too dark.
Oh, right.
The filter was not proper. These are before the times of, I'll just brush that up online.
Right.
But we've discussed that. That's not the issue. Everybody had left to go back to the reception except April and I and the photographer. We were just going to do a couple, okay, because we had cool cars.
Okay.
A good friend of my mother-in-law's let us borrow a bunch of his classic cars. So we were all driving classic cars. So we took a couple pictures with him. Everybody had left. So we're like, and keep in mind, it's 33 degrees out and not a cloud in the sky. Like, it's hot. And we're like, okay, well, we better get, moving along here. We better get to the reception. It was about 4:45 kind of thing. And we go, and the gates are closed. The gates are locked for this museum. We're locked in the museum. We couldn't get out. Everybody had left. They thought we had left, so
Right.
they locked it up. So
But you
here
think
we are.
the locks would be accessible from the inside? You
It
would
was
hope.
a padlock. Like, we weren't getting out. And I'm not driving a classic car through the fence to get to my own wedding. So we had to call, and then the person had to call somebody else who had already went home from the museum. So we had to wait for another 20 minutes for somebody to come let us out. And by the way, we're in cars that don't have roofs. There's all soft tops that were taken off. So we were just, my wedding pictures for the rest of the night, I looked like a tomato as I was so burned from the sun. We got locked in a museum at our own wedding.
That's amazing. But at least there were cell phones at this point, weren't there, or not?
Yeah, I didn't, not April and I didn't have ours. So thankfully so we didn't even have numbers. Like, it was a little alarming.
At least I guess if you'd been late for the reception, probably at some point somebody would have said, we got to drive the road back to where the photos were. Yeah, and eventually we should come across them. Like, what are you, eloped after the ceremony?
They're gone.
The
They're outta
reception
here.
sucks. Let's take off.
So that was 18 years ago today, Reid.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
I'll have a couple not as entertaining stories.
Well, send them in, yeah.
Mine are more just sort of odd things that happened at weddings that have stuck with me over the years. I of course, have never been married, so it won't pertain to anything that has happened to me personally. But wedding/anniversary horror stories, funny stories, awkward stories. We don't want the sweet and tender here.
Well,
We want something towards the goofier or darker side.
Matt Hyman in the Nasty Chat. My sister's friend during the speeches at his wedding said, next time I get married, you're all invited back.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Wow. 780-218-9999 is how you can text us, by the way. That is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, j@edmontonsportstalk.com. And if you're taking us in on YouTube, post in the Nasty Chat. Give us a like. Hit the thumbs up button if you're there as well. Hey, a national championship for an Alberta team. We're going to talk to a coach who helped make it happen when we get back.
According to 880 Cheds, Morley Scott, Tre Ford, and Cody Fajardo shared first-team reps at practice this morning as they get ramped up for action against the Riders on Friday. And in hockey news, Team Canada's coaching staff for next Winter Olympics has been announced. John Cooper picking Philly's Rick Tocchet, Vegas's Bruce Cassidy, former Stars coach Pete DeBoer to join the team as assistant coaches. In the NFL, the Texans have signed this year's second-rounder Ariante Ursary with the 23-year-old coming off a season from the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Meanwhile, the Jays and Yankees open up a 3-game series. Toronto first in the AL East. New York sitting 3 games back of the Jays entering the game. And Kevin Gausman gets a call for Toronto. First pitch just after 5. Toronto recalling Mason Fluharty from the Bisons, making him active for the contest. Elsewhere, the Reds and Nationals go at it. Giants take on the Braves, and the Rangers go toe-to-toe against the Athletics on a 15-game slate. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Darcy Park checks in on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Trip to Osheaga with the banquet and Aperol. We're sending one lucky guest to Montreal with flights, hotel, and 2 tickets to one of Canada's hottest music festivals. Enter by July 26. Details in store or on the banquet app. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Tonight on Will It Store, 1 man, 6 bikes, and all the winter decorations still boxed up in the garage. Don't be that guy. Make space for summer with Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, thanks a lot for tuning in this afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend. Pretty cool stuff here. Team Alberta has won the Football Canada Cup. For details on that, member of the coaching staff. Well, I'm pleased to catch up with this guy. Eh? You've known this guy even longer than I have, Jay.
Yeah.
It's Darcy Park checking in. Darcy, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you guys doing? Just sitting in the Halifax airport after a successful week.
Oh, nice.
So, walk us through the week. I mean, how does this, how does the tournament work? Obviously, you don't play every team, but you would play how many games before you guys get into playoffs?
So basically, we come in. They do it off of the standings from the last Canada Cup. So we started off in Sherwood Park with a 2-day mini camp, and then flew out to Halifax and settled in down to Ganesh at St. FX, who hosted us. Our first game was against Manitoba. Again, we were the first game of the tournament. So again, 7:00 our time in the morning was interesting, but we got off to a great start in the first quarter and kind of rolled the rest of the way, and then ended up playing Quebec in the semifinal. And that's kind of been the thing. We played them the last 9 years in the semifinal, and this was like a last second punt return touchdown by one of Aaron Norbo for us to win the game. So I thought that was the most exciting thing that was going to happen. And then we went on to take on Ontario in the final, and it was crazy. They jumped out to a 21-0 lead, and our guys just continued to battle. And at the end of the game, we ended up tying it up with a chance to kind of kick a rouge for the win at the end of the game, but we didn't get that and ended up going to overtime and won the game in overtime. And it was, I gotta tell you, like, now that I'm old fat guy, and my roles on these teams are generally more of a, team mascot, team morale kind of guy. It was probably one of the neatest experiences I've ever been involved with. Once it gets in overtime, the special teams is kind of out the way, so you can sit back and enjoy it. They had all the other provincial teams were in the stands because they were doing the closing ceremony after. And, I don't know if it was, it's very rare that Alberta gets so much love throughout Canada, but we had every province cheering for us. And when we did score the winning touchdown, every player from all the teams rushed the field, and it was, something I'd never seen before. And just, again, a great experience for our athletes to have been able to persevere in a really hard tournament and have that experience.
Darcy Park, special teams and running back coach for Team Alberta, who just won gold at the Football Canada Cup. I saw that video on Instagram, Darcy, and I got to say, I didn't know who those kids were. I was wondering, well, who the hell are these kids running on the field? But you're telling me that those were all the other teams that were coming on the field to congratulate Alberta?
Yeah, it was wild. We were definitely, an underdog. There were some university coaches in our province who maybe didn't have the faith in our program as we did. We knew that we had a great roster, and Ontario obviously has a roster. And when you fall down 21-0, it's kind of easy for people to jump on board and try and hope for a close game. And then again, the level of play at this tournament is unbelievable. The kids are passionate about it. They're giving up their summers, they give up their weekends in the spring to try out for these teams. And when it came down to, again, an overtime game where we had the ability to control it and we got the ball in the end zone, all the other teams just jumped on board. They were cheering for the whole fourth quarter as we made our comeback. And then, yeah, it was wild. It's like I said, it's something I've never seen, where the teams you're competing against end up again, we had Quebec players celebrating with us.
Unreal.
After the game. And it's, again, something these kids are going to remember forever. But I think it says something too about, these athletes are competitive, but I think with social media, they're all following each other on social media, and they know who the players are. And it was just something really neat to see.
Okay. You mentioned comeback there, and I just want everybody to know, in the semifinal, your Team Alberta, was down 27-11 against Quebec, who, between Quebec and Saskatchewan, they've owned this tournament for the past, this century, pretty much. Down 27-11 going into the fourth quarter against Quebec. Came back and won, obviously. Last night, you were trailing Toronto 21-0 at one point, and you come back to win in overtime. A, have you ever been around a team that has the ability to do this? And B, what was the makeup of the team that allowed them to have the confidence to come back in such a big moment?
Well, I think it starts with the leadership. Our head coach, Cody Ehrman, he set the tone early. He had a plan. I think, we got to give a lot of credit to Football Alberta and Taylor Stiles, who organized and scheduled, the breaks in between games so that the kids had an opportunity to kind of enjoy each other's company, experience a little bit of, Nova Scotia, and also then be prepared to play. So I think, again, the way we scheduled, the way Cody laid out the plan, this wasn't something that we were surprised about. When we first got together, when the team was selected, we talked about playing Manitoba, playing Quebec, and playing Ontario. So it was all part of the plan. I think our guys bought in. We did a great job in terms of creating accountability throughout the group. Again, these are players who are all stars at their high school, and they come into to a event like this, and their roles might not be as substantial as they're used to, and that takes an adjustment. And to a man on our roster, they all took the role that they were given and played their asses off. And like I said, I think it comes from Cody. I mean, the ability to come back, it comes from Cody's defense getting a stop, and then Jason Lafferty as the offensive coordinator getting the balls in the playmakers' hands. And we had some kids make some big plays at key times. And once we kind of saw blood in the water, these kids knew how to close it out. So again, it's just a fantastic group to be around, and it's something we'll remember for a long time.
All right, Darcy, you got Reid here. I just got a couple for you. So first of all these kids are going to university in the fall. Is that the situation?
No, they're basically the grade 11s going into grade 12. So
grade 11 going into 12. Year. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, who is Joel Thorpe, who in the final had 18 carries for 116 yards and 4 touchdowns?
Joel Thorpe is a stud. He's gone through the Team Alberta program at U16 and made the jump to U18 this year. Plays out at Harry Ainley. Again, he is a super intelligent kid, and it's a great team. He didn't probably have the success he wanted in the first 2 games, and again, we had a lot of good running backs that we were mixing in there, and then again in the final game we leaned on him, and I mean, if it was 2nd and 4, he's breaking 2 or 3 tackles to get first downs. Like, he was just awesome. I mean, we had we were very fortunate to have a really great offensive line, and we had Brian Marshall, who was a longtime coach with the Huskies, as our offensive line coach, and again, he got that group going. And had Cooper Troy, who's already committed to the University of Hawaii, anchoring it at left tackle. And when we needed to play, when we needed to play, we tended to go to his side, and we were successful. But we can go through the whole roster, and every one of those guys at some point in this tournament made a play that helped us achieve our goal.
All right, so you beat Ontario in the final. I think you referenced Saskatchewan. Are there traditional? Is it usually Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, Saskatchewan in the top 4? I guess BC probably would be good as well. Who's usually good in this tournament?
Yeah, it ebbs and flows. The top 4 for the last decade have been Ontario, Quebec, Saskatchewan, and ourselves.
Okay.
We've gotten. I think this is my 5th year or 6th year at this tournament now, and 2 bronze, 2 silvers, and now our first gold. So it was nice to get to finish it. Saskatchewan went on a little bit of a run where they were going for 3 in a row, and Ontario has done a great job at the provincial level where, again, they're getting their top athletes. And again, that final game was littered with kids who might end up in the NCAA or will definitely be stars in U Sports in the coming years. And then the other teams, I had great conversations with the Manitoba coaches. It's just, again, we maybe have a little bit more of a selection ability to draw from a bigger pool. But man, once those teams get in there, like from the first game to the second game, the improvements on those other teams like BC, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, it's huge. And by the time that 3rd day comes around, it's good football in all 4 games. They're usually pretty competitive. But again, the big 4 provinces in football have the ability to draw from some bigger pool numbers. But BC, will jump in a year when they get all their athletes. Manitoba always plays physical. Like I said, it is just a great tournament to be involved with. I mean, the coaching from all the teams, there's so much to learn, and it's such a busy week for coaches where you're doing a week's worth of work in one day. So it's almost like you're going to football camp, and you get to be around really smart coaches. You'll learn stuff, and then you talk about what you're doing at your programs that they're working at, and all the universities in Canada are there watching and talking to the players. It's just it's a great environment. I think it's something that the football community across the country, I think with the way that game ended on Sunday, with all the players running on the field, it says something about how important this is. And again, we just need to keep supporting it. And and getting our best players to come and try out for this, because it's a great showcase for them.
Well, Darcy, thank you. I know you've got a plane to catch. You're moments away from getting on the plane, so thank you for your time. And Darcy, I want to say this to you. Thank you for your commitment to these young men and the rest of your coaching staff. I know all the way to the top with Tim Anger at Football Alberta. That is a class organization. So thank you to you and your coaching staff. This is a moment that those kids will never forget. And congrats. Have a safe trip home, and we'll catch up later. Thanks, Darcy.
Hey, Jay, just thanks for not betting on us this weekend. I mean, I know you had a good run, and then got a little bit greedy. Thank God you laid off of us. And then my little wedding thing is, I don't know what's going on, but the last 3 weddings I've been at, they've been playing Rasputin in the first round of music. And Rasputin used to be a song when I was growing up that you played at the end. So I've been blowing the ass out of my pants in the first half hour of the dance, and having to sit around the rest of the evening with my cheeks hanging out. So that's it.
Wow. That is a true horror story, Darcy. Hey, it's great to see you, buddy. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks so much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Darcy Park, checking in. Love talking to Darcy. You could hear his passion and his pride for Team Alberta winning in dramatic fashion at the Football Canada Cup. Couple comebacks, overtime win in the final against Ontario. Good to talk to him. He obviously listens to the show. He knows about Jay's Play of the Day, which is coming up in about 5 minutes. And he was listening to the wedding or anniversary horror story segment. William Huff, off topic. I've got a bunch in here too. Okay, we're going to do those. I have a couple that are kind of funny, weird more than horrible. And I want to talk to you too about you, Jay, specifically. Okay, before, just quickly, because we got to do a break. Coop's ready to go here. Did you ever play for a Team Alberta?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Did you play in this tournament?
I did.
Oh, okay, so good. Well, we can talk about that too. Yeah. You have a personal story, Jay.
I do, Heat.
It's radio 101.
Yeah, I sure do.
You really do. No, that is good though. I know about your experience because you've never told me about this before. I know about all you wanting to drive fast in the mountains.
Yep.
Like, do you think if you go high enough, quick enough up the mountain, you'll reach the top and launch off into space?
That's the goal, baby.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah. We got to get to the other side.
We are.
This is Jay driving up the mountain. With the mountain says, "I think I
hear him coming now." Is that Jason Milne in his car? I think I hear him coming now. All right, Jay's Play of the Day. Some of your wedding or anniversary horror stories. Jay's personal experience at the Football Canada Cup. All coming up. Here's the Coop.
Flyers 6th overall pick Porter Martone is leaving the OHL, committing to Michigan State in the NCAA for next season. Martone had 98 points, 37 goals in 57 games last season with the Steelheads. And 880 Cheds Morley Scott has reported that Cody Fajardo and Tre Ford shared first-team reps at practice today as they prep to battle the Riders on Friday. Down south, there's multiple reports saying that Zach Tom and the Packers have reached an agreement to a 4-year, $88 million contract worth a maximum amount of $92 million. From Houston, 2025 second-rounder Ariante Ursary has signed with the Texans. The 23-year-old tackle coming off a season with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. For the Jays, Mason Fluharty has been recalled from the AAA Bisons, being active for tonight's series opener against the Yankees. New York sits 3 games back of the Jays for first in the AL East, with Kevin Gausman starting for Toronto. First pitch at 5:07. Around the league, the Padres play the Marlins. The Orioles take on the Guardians, while Detroit visits Pittsburgh. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods, help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. Jay's Play of the Day and much more brings us back after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
the oil stream.
Yes, goaltending needed to be better. Again, Senior Boots, you're not listening. We're not sitting here saying they got there because of goaltending, but goaltending was a part of, they had back-to-back shutouts.
Hey, yeah, one guy had 3 shutouts in 4 games. The other guy went 7-0 until the cup final when he started his first game and lost.
You can't say despite of goaltending.
Yes.
Goaltending won him some games.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Good Monday afternoon to everybody. Kind of gross out there today. Wonder if that'll affect attendance at Taste of Edmonton. I'm going to have some hot to trot dishes. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to have some of my more favorite dishes. I'm going to have some of my Taste of Edmonton picks.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to Edmonton, Taste of Edmonton 4 times.
Like this year?
Yes, this year, with more to come.
You're an animal.
Yes.
Well, truthfully, we were going to go. The original plan for the anniversary night was to, park somewhere, maybe even White Ave.
Okay.
Grab a couple scooters.
Oh, neat.
High-level bridge, ledge grounds.
Probably show up at my house.
Probably show up, say, "Hi, Reid," and slam the door in my face. And then head down to Taste of Edmonton. But unfortunately, the weather is grotesque, is not really cooperating. So
no, it'll be a tough day to be outside.
We're going to go with Plan B.
Well, I hope that's. Do you want to say what that is or not?
It was actually my wife's idea, because I've never ever been to this restaurant, and I've always wanted to go.
Ponderosa.
No. Japanese Village.
Oh, cool. Oh, you'll like it.
I've never been.
Well, do you like that style of food?
What is it? I just want to see them make a tower out of onions and blow smoke out the top of it.
Well, I'm sure you can order that.
I'm sure it's good food.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Like, what kind of food is it? Japanese?
Yeah, I can get sushi if you want. And I think they do the Teppan dining where they do the stuff in front of you.
I
think they do that
show.
still.
I want to see somebody crack an egg on the side of
I'm sure you can request that.
Spatula. Yeah.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's of the day.
Presented by Play Alberta. Why settle for less when you can have it all? Only Play Alberta brings you casino games, live dealers, lottery, instants, and sports betting all in one place. Players can get a $50 casino bonus by depositing $20 and using the code EST Casino. You can get a free $50 sports bet by depositing $20 and using the code EST Sports. Don't forget to use your game sense.
Okay, so I like where Big Uke's head is at. He says, so for those that don't know, Darcy was just alluded to it. I went ahead and I got a little ahead of myself. Last week was a perfect week. In fact, I went 6 for 5 because that one day I made a WNBA play.
That's right.
That I had to make 2, but both hit. So I went 6 for 5. And, Matt at the Garrison was asking for a little weekend play. So I indulged my good buddy and I put in a weekend play of the day. Okay. It failed miserably. But as Big Uke says, he says, Jay's play of the day streak is still alive in my opinion. It is a weekday thing. The play that lost on Saturday was more like an exhibition or a showcase pick, not a regular season pick. I like that. I like that a lot. So Jay's play of the day today, we're going to baseball. Jays, Yankees. So if you want to get in on this play, you got to get on it soon because I believe the game starts at 5:07.
Okay.
The Jays and Yankees have met 7 times this year. All of those games had 6 runs or more. 5 out of 7 of those had 9 or more runs.
Okay.
5 out of 7. So they make runs happen.
Right.
These two teams. So Jay's play of the day is over 8.5 runs in that Jays-Yankees game.
Oh, for sure it'll be over 8.5.
This was minus 118. But as I've said several times, you can go anywhere and get minus 118. But the only place you're going to have that boosted to minus 104, which is almost even money, is at Play Alberta. And that's at the EST Specials, Jay's Play of the Day. So head on over to playalberta.ca, click on sports, click on EST Specials. You'll see it right there. Jay's Play of the Day, Yankees, Blue Jays, 9+ total runs that has been boosted to minus 104. Let's keep the streak going.
It's Jay, it's Play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's Play of the Day. It's Jay's Play of the Day. Jay's Play of the Day.
Presented by Play Alberta. Okay, that's a good one. 780-218-9999 is how you text us. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Looks like Fajardo and Ford splitting first team reps at Elks practice today. We are hoping to get an Elks player on the show, but they're still on the practice field. So it'll take a second for their media relations person to talk to a player and try to line something up. But we're hoping to have an Elks player in the last half hour of the show. We'll let you know once, if and when we have it. Our off-topic topic for William Huff. It is, Jay, what do you say, your 18th anniversary?
Yes.
Your 18th wedding anniversary. So we want to know your wedding/anniversary. I put horror stories on our sheet here, but uncomfortable, awkward. I didn't expect that type of stories. I have a couple that not as good as you getting locked in a museum, but sort of ones that I still look back on with family. I want to say I was in probably university or maybe just out. I think I would have been in my very early 20s. And a family friend from Evansburg invited us, me and my mom and dad, to a wedding. So it was down in southern Alberta. So you drive down, and I think we stayed in Lethbridge. So we got to the hotel, and then you had to drive to, I can't remember, but to a smaller community for the wedding. So, I think the wedding was late afternoon, and then you go to the reception, and you're hungry. And we were in line, and I remember being lined up for the food and thinking like, oh, there's not a ton of food there, but I wonder what they have. And then as we approached closer and closer to the lineup, I'm one of those people where I don't always trust myself. Like, I'll think something is off, but I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know the etiquette, or maybe something is. But as we got closer to the front of the line for the buffet, I realized that it was just a salad bar. There was like a couple bowls of lettuce and then croutons and things to put on your salad.
No,
and that's what was served at the wedding.
No protein?
No. And so, we stayed for a little while And then I remember getting in the car after, and I was like, I'm quite hungry. And my parents were like, yeah. So we drove back into Lethbridge, and it was like 10 or 11 at night. It's like, first restaurant, Boston Pizza, and we loaded up on pizza.
I hope your dad took $100 out of the envelope. So, come on.
So then the other thing, and this happened when I was quite young. So this is my memory of this. We will have Cody Fajardo at 20 after 5. By the way. I was 6, and part of the reason I remember this is because, I wasn't 6. It was the year the Canucks and Islanders played the Cup final. So I guess 82, right? Yeah, because they beat Philly, then they beat Minnesota, then they beat the Canucks, and then they beat the Oilers. And the Canucks were this long shot team to make it there. And I remember a family.
So you were like, what, 7, 8?
So I would have been 8. Yeah, I would have been 8 by that because it would have been May of 82. So first of all, a side memory of this is I believe it was game 1 between the Canucks and Islanders. And I think it was the only game in which the Canucks were competitive. And I remember the neighbor of my grandparents, who was also at this was a cousin getting married, coming to me and my dad and being like, 5-5, it's going to overtime. Like, I don't know how he got the score. There must have been a TV on in the hall somewhere. So I remember sitting there at the reception. My mom might be cringing that I'm telling this story, but whatever. And so like I'm 8. This might have been the first wedding I ever attended, right? Certainly probably the first one I would remember attending. And they're doing toasts. And they say, and now to deliver the toast to the bride, Bob Wilkins, my dad. 8-year-old Reid Wilkins is like, oh, cool. My dad's toast. I wonder what happens. And I remember, but I remembered sensing something at the table was off. And the way my mom tells this story now is that my dad said, I don't remember this, and he said, is this a joke? Like, I remember him saying something, and I remember him going up. And you got to remember, the cousin that was getting married was the groom. So nobody knew the girl. So the bride was coming in, would not be well known to most people on my side of the family, and specifically to my father. And I remember my dad going up with his glass and saying, to the bride, and taking a sip and walking back to our table. And at that time, I was like, sweet, my dad gave a toast. So to this day, I'm not sure if anybody really knows why he was put down for the toast. We think that maybe something was forgotten, and they thought, oh, Bob's outgoing, and he's a school teacher. He knows how to speak in front of a crowd. He'll do it. So this is my memory this is partially my memory of this, and then how the gaps have been filled in over the years with stories from my mom and dad about it.
Unbelievable.
That actually is kind of unbelievable. Like, if you would have told my dad before the wedding, like, hey, you're going to have a toast tonight, he would have been like, no, I'm not.
I appreciate that he went up there and just kept it simple.
Yeah, just get to the
didn't
point.
Try say anything. That was probably the best toast of the night. Right? It was like, finally.
Yeah. No, that's how I remember it. And this is one of those things. Maybe there were other things. Maybe he said a little bit more, but I don't think, knowing my dad, when you don't know my dad well, but you've met him a couple times, you can probably imagine him handling it that way.
Yeah.
From the couple times you
Oh,
so anyway,
good for you.
I don't know if that's a horror story, but it is. It certainly falls in the awkward category. But I think both of mine do.
That's incredible. I just can't imagine being in that situation. Big Uke says he attended a wedding at the Devonian Gardens. As the ceremony was starting, some geese flew over, and as they swung around for a second run, we all watched slow-mo as the droppings flew in and landed on the bride.
Come on.
I've never seen so many Tide pens get thrown at one person.
There has to be, I would imagine, there must be a lot of stories with heat-related discomfort.
This might be heat-related. This is from Collingwood Rob. I married a lovely Scottish lass. I wore a kilt to honor her family's heritage. At our reception, one of her friends ripped my underwear off and wore it on her head.
Oh.
Needless to say, she was 3 sheets to the wind at the time. I was as cool as a cucumber south of the border the rest of the night.
Well, she was 3 sheets to the wind and he was 2 balls to the breeze.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Wilkie.
Your wedding
Yeah,
slash
spicy boy.
Your wedding slash anniversary horror stories.
Bronco Nick, during pictures at the ledge for my sister's wedding, a young Bronco Nick and his cousin decided to roll down the hills and proceed to get grass stains all over the knees of our gray tuxedos.
Oh, my.
My mom and sister were not happy.
Oh, I bet they weren't.
Oh, my.
I bet they weren't. Oh.
Andrea from Calgary says, we had a very small wedding and my husband's sister stood up for him. When she asked me what color of dress she should wear, I said anything but black or white. She also insisted she would get us our wedding cake from someone she knew in Banff, even though we told her not to do it because it would be too complicated to pick up. A few days before our wedding, she showed me the black dress she bought and told us she couldn't get the cake because she waited too long to order it. Luckily, and she puts in brackets for my husband, I was only mildly annoyed, but I felt like it sounded like a horror story.
Yeah. No, that's well, and in the moment, right?
Well, that's a tough day to you're already at the height of your anxiety
and
levels.
Something that seems minor and fixable, you're worried that maybe it's not going to turn out to be minor and fixable.
Well, at the end of the
anything
day,
from a car being on time or a door being locked or food
our
being
wedding,
a little bit late, whatever.
Well, you got to so there was a lot of football players at my wedding. There was a lot of Bears hockey players at my wedding.
Oh, nice. Chris Stoblock?
No, I don't think he made the list. It turned into a tarps off party very fast.
Oh my goodness!
It was 30.
It might have been a horror story for some people, not for you.
It was 33 degrees, and we were in a community hall in Irricana with no air conditioning.
Oh, right.
So farmers from around town were bringing in their cattle fans to blow air through our hall.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, the shirts came off.
Well, yeah. So
What
that
can you
would
say?
be, but there has to be things like, if somebody was sweating through their suit or dress, even before the ceremony started, like that would be tough. Wedding / anniversary horror stories. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox to text us. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, j@edmontonsportstalk.com. Post in the nasty chat if you don't mind a bunch of other people reading it. Did you get another one?
No, I'm just thinking of your...
Oh, whatever. I just make stuff
Comments,
up
it's great.
I just make stuff up as I go. By the way, we are coming to you from the Banquet Studio every Monday. Is that today?
Yeah.
Today's a Monday. Every Monday, bowl for just $2 all day at the Banquet Bar. Walk in, grab your friends, and probably grab your friends before you walk in. Grab your friends, walk into the banquet, and start your week with some fun. Get real, play hard. Somebody's reading this like, why doesn't he just read it the way we wrote it? Like he sexes up the passion fruit cheesecake one. Now he's criticizing the order of the things. Get real, play hard. Banquet.
Maybe April and I should go bowling.
I got something about the banquet for Fired Up. And I think we got to do your amateur football chat too.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the 4:00 break, which will include Zachary Kubish.
The Lock Shop.
I mean, incredible performance. Took all of the drama out of a Sunday at a major. The run that we had Bob Weeks on our show this morning, and the run that he's been on here. It was funny because I played that clip of Rory last February being like, I think Scotty should try a mallet putter. And since then, he's won 13 tournaments, 3 majors, and a gold medal. Maybe don't give out advice to a guy who probably didn't need it anyway.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even around a golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss award-winning platinum country artist Jake Owen at the River Cree Resort and Casino, August 15th. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
The Canadian Brewhouse is turning up the flavor this summer with our new summer feature menu. Try our jerk chicken skewers, Cajun shrimp tostadas, and street corn salsa. Bold bites made for patio season. Get them while it's hot. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Another CHL player is committed to the NCAA Flyers. 6th overall pick from this year, Porter Martone, committing to Michigan State for next season. He comes off a 98-point season with the OHL Steelheads. And the Elks are back at practice ahead of Friday's game against the Riders. 880 Cheds. Morley Scott reporting that Tre Ford and Cody Fajardo shared first-team reps. In the NFL, the Packers lock up Zach Tom for 4 years, giving him the right tackle $88 million with the contract worth a maximum amount of $92 million. Out east, the Jays challenge the Yankees for the first of 3 games. Toronto leading the AL East with the Yankees 3 games back in second place. It's Kevin Gausman getting the ball for Toronto, and Mason Flaherty has been recalled from the Bisons and will be active tonight for the Jays. First pitch at 5:07. There's 14 other games on tap, including the Angels and Mets duking it out. The Tigers facing the Pirates before the Royals battle the Cubs. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Jay Milne on the lead vocals. Take it. Oh, I should do the voice. Taking you back to 1999. This is Fallout by Edmonton legends Brody. And then the Spinal Tap. Currently residing in the Where Are They Now file. And you're like, I'm right here. Have you ever seen this as Spinal Tap?
No.
Highly recommend. I can lend it to you on VHS.
Good.
I'll
look at it.
I think you would love this movie. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon. It's 3 minutes after 4. The Elks practicing today. They are heavy underdogs playing the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Friday. So what we're going to have on Friday? After this show, 6 o'clock, Green and Gold kickoff show with you and Awanak.
Yeah.
The last Green and Gold kickoff and postgame shows from this location.
Wow.
1 week from today's moving day to the new office.
That's what I've heard.
And you and I have to do the show like from the side of the street or something.
I think we're going to be at BP's West.
Oh, good. Okay.
Just to be out of the hustle and bustle.
Well, because everything's going to be taken out.
I do feel a little bit guilty though.
Of?
Like you said.
What?
Well, I'd like to help. You know? I want to pitch
I've done
in.
nothing to help with the move.
Well, he did say we got to start taking down these things. So maybe tomorrow we can, like the padding on the walls for sound quality.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
We can do that.
We can't do that while there are still shows being done in here, though.
I'm bringing in my tools tomorrow to take down the basketball hoop and the EST sign displayed here. It's going to be a sad day right above the studio. Somebody made it out of
that one
metal.
That would be the first time the basketball hoop will be down since I got here on practicum.
Nope.
Oh.
Jay had it down to fix it that day.
That's
Josh
right.
Glosson blocked me and it came down.
Ah.
When we used to do the videos.
Glosson.
We'll start doing some sort of videos in the new building. We stopped doing the videos.
Yeah, because you're dang
because of my eye, and I couldn't do anything.
We really should have leaned into those with the videos.
Yeah, we
and
could have
made
done
fun
something.
of your lack of sight.
I have an eye appointment on Wednesday, and I'm thrilled yet upset.
Why?
Because I looked up the last time I got new glasses. Took me 2 months. So I could still be looking at another 8 weeks before I can see properly. That's really discouraging. Because you know how irritated I am. Now, it is a lot better than it was, but there's still a lot of like blurriness or waviness, or sometimes looking at a screen for a long time. So it's still irritating. And I've been complaining about it a lot. Though it is a lot better. And I can drive. I've been driving for the last 6 weeks now. Anyway, we'll help move. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll do nothing. Matthew's incredibly organized and intense about it, which I appreciate. He is a great guy. I hope he's not hearing me say that because I'll never admit to saying it.
Yeah, he's the if you want to do the job right, do it yourself kind of guy.
And he knows how to do it right.
Yep, very good. Very capable.
Time to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco 9281 50th Street. So we had Darcy Park on in the last hour of the show. He was an assistant coach with Team Alberta at the Football Canada Cup in, where were they, in Nova Scotia. They won the gold medal yesterday. And Jay, so you played on this very team.
Yeah.
In, what year did you say it was?
99.
So was that between grade 11 and 12 for you?
It was different at that time.
Okay.
Because at that point, like Football Alberta has changed. It used to be they had a Team Alberta when you got to high school.
Okay.
And it was for grade 12s. Now they have U16, U14, U18, okay. So it's different, but the tournament's still the same. But in 99, and they had the North-South Bowl. So Team North would play Team South.
Yes.
And we played that at by Claire Drake Arena, where the Bears football used to play.
Field or whatever.
Varsity field. And we beat Team South. And then out of that, they select a Team Alberta.
Oh, that's how they picked Team Alberta.
They just said, okay, yeah.
You guys look good, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Justin McInnes was on that team as a kicker.
Oh, nice.
The
okay.
CFL ref.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, Tuck, was on that team. We went out to BC to play in the Canada Cup. And we ended up losing to BC, who eventually won it.
Okay.
But it was a fun trip. We stayed on campus at UBC.
Oh, was that UBC?
Yeah, we ate at UBC, in the dorms.
So it was like a real team experience.
Yeah, we went to Wreck Beach.
Okay, so what's that?
Wreck Beach. Wreck Beach is a nude beach.
Near UBC?
It's just down. UBC is like on the ocean.
Okay.
The beach is just below UBC.
And is it a student beach?
Nope.
Were you nude?
So here's what happened.
It's a yes or no question, Jay.
Me and a fella that played on the team, his nickname was Chewbacca. He was massive. He was 6'7".
So you couldn't tell if he was nude or not.
He was 6'7" and he had hair everywhere.
Okay.
Me, at that point I still hadn't grown. I mean, I was 5'10", $165 soaking wet. So it was quite a difference in look.
Okay.
So I proposed that if him and I walked nude down the beach holding hands, if everybody pitched in, that we could keep it. And we raised $50 and strolled down the beach. And we're quickly called out.
By who?
The beachgoers.
By nudists?
Yep.
Okay.
They did not like what we were doing.
What did you do that was wrong?
They knew that we were having fun with it and weren't there to
they knew you were miscreants.
Express ourselves like they were.
But Marge, we're college boys and we're up to no good.
So we called that off pretty quick, but we did get the money. I think it was $50 or something.
So you have been nude in public for money. Okay,
I suppose that's true.
Let's reflect on what we've learned today, everybody. Jason Milne, psychopath when driving in the mountains, and has taken money to appear nude in public.
Yeah, I hope my mom's listening.
What will the third bullet point on the list be before 6 o'clock?
This is a day of revelations.
Does April know this about you?
Yeah,
on your anniversary.
Sure she's heard that story several times.
Nude for money. If you were dating online now, you could have put that. That'd be a good conversation. Like you put all normal stuff. Like, hey, I'm Jay. I'm a 20-year-old
on the bio.
I'm a 20-year-old U of A student suffering this. I play on the football team, but I'm not a dumb jock. I also like stand-up comedy. I'm the lead singer in the band. By the way, if we go for coffee, I can tell you about the time I took money for being nude in public. Lol. And then you start getting the messages. You're getting swiped. I don't even know which way you swipe. And then you get a message from this April, and you're like, "Oh, she looks pretty." And be like, "Nude in public, really?"
I was 17 at the time.
Coffee at Java Jive.
Java Jive. There's a throwback.
Was Java Jive in Hub?
Sub.
Well, there was like 2 Java Jives in Hub, I think, when I went there.
Java Jive used to sell you chocolate-covered coffee beans.
Oh, did they? I don't remember that.
Just eat those.
I don't think they had chocolate when I was a kid.
Joaquin Gay's in the nasty chat. He says, one of the last true measures of a man down at Wreck Beach.
Oh, there we go. He knows exactly everything that's going on. I may be one of the few people at EST who hasn't been nude for money.
That could be true.
Now that I think about it. Anyway, so you played for Team Alberta
Time
at
of
the
my
Football
life.
Canada Cup. So now the sort of whole program has changed around this.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you, because you're still involved with football in other capacities, how would you compare amateur football and football development from 25 years ago to now?
Night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just now these kids are training year round. We didn't lift weights then. You were just a good athlete or you weren't.
Okay.
It's totally different. I mean, and you can see, I mean, this win for Team Alberta yesterday out in Nova Scotia, defeating Ontario for the Canada Cup is huge. The last victory they had was in 2007.
Right,
so almost 20 years ago. And Ontario and Quebec and Saskatchewan are always the teams that are winning that. So that's huge for Alberta to come out on top, especially in the fashion they did.
Right.
But football in Alberta has been, I guess, it's become a lot more serious than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more competitive. And there's a lot more, I guess, places that you can train and be involved in football. Not that I agree with it year round. I don't believe in that. I don't think you should play a sport all year round.
Right.
But for high-level athletes, and when you're getting to that point, I mean, a lot of these kids are going to get offered scholarships to go to universities. Where that takes you, I don't know. But there's the Joes of the world that, I mean, there was a kid drafted in the NFL draft that went to Stanford out of Medicine Hat.
Right.
So the opportunity to make this a career is bigger than it's ever been.
All right, 780-218-9999. We're getting fired up for Gemco. I said that for my fired up today, I would give some initial impressions of Taste of Edmonton. Now, I'm going to repeat a couple of things I said on Friday, because I did go Thursday night. And then I wound up going Friday night, and then Sunday I went for lunch and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I like going to Taste of Edmonton. My parents love going to Taste of Edmonton even more than me. I think my mom likes the food, and that also she doesn't have to prepare it.
Yeah,
and my dad's very much like a small portions and eat your meal at a slower pace. So Taste of Edmonton forces you to do that. You go somewhere else, you look around. Now, where am I going to go? So initially, I will give huge shout-outs to a couple of people who are great partners of the show and of the station. Pasta Pantry. So I had the pasticcio was the first thing I had on Thursday. Very good. Yesterday, I had the meatballs with crostini. Now, the meatballs are very, very good. Very good meatballs in a tomato sauce. And they give you 2 little crostinis in there. And when they soak in the sauce, oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Really good.
Ooh.
Really good.
I can see you're excited.
And I got to give a shout out to the banquet as well. So our buddy Pat. So they have the banquet and the Canadian Brewhouse tent set up there. I'll be trying more from them, but the buffalo mushroom caps from the banquet were very good. I will get them again. You know, the kind of the deep fried mushrooms, and they put a sauce over them. And it's a bit of a spicy sauce, but like they're cool about it. They're like, do you want it on the side?
Right.
And I said, I want it on the mushrooms, but I don't want a whole bunch. So they drizzle it. So you can kind of get that made to order. So I'll give those as an initial 3. I will say this. I have not had a disappointing dish. I would not say...
Really?
I've been pleasantly surprised. And sometimes you try something, you take a chance. So maybe it's... I know what I like too, but I usually, after I've gone 4 times, there's something where I'm like, ugh.
Have you tried anything that you said, You know, like for instance, tonight when we go out for supper, I'll probably force myself to try something that I normally wouldn't order.
Okay.
Have you done that? Have you went outside your comfort zone?
Not, I guess not by a huge margin.
Like the octopus balls would have been outside.
I've had those before.
Okay.
They're good. But I'm going to give 2 or 3 other recommends here. So people can write these down because you may want to look up online. Booth number 3, Takopo, Takopo. The flamed salmon nigiri was very good. And the squid karage was very good. It's a little bit like calamari, and it had some sort of a sauce on it. So that was really, really good. And then I'm going to go to Kazana, which, you know, has the butter chicken. That's their popular dish. I'm not a huge butter chicken guy, so I usually don't get that. They have honey chili potato. They're French fries with a honey chili glaze.
Ooh.
They are delicious. And the chili's not that hot. And I got to tell you, the serving size was quite nice.
Okay. Good bang for your buck.
The honey chili potato from Kazana. That's booth 9. Hong Kong Bakery, booth 10. I had the banana creme brulee. That was a hit for me for sure. I'm just going to scroll through here and see what I'm missing. There's definitely more stuff I want to try. I mean, there's so much to try. The Cheesecake Cafe, they have some cheesecakes on a stick, but I like the little salted caramel chocolate cake they give you in a little. It's smaller. It's only 2 tickets, but it's just a nice size at the end of the day. There was what's it called here? I got to get the name. Oh yeah, I mentioned that Cuban sandwich. That's booth number 44. Baya's Catering, the Pan Con Le Sean. That was a really good Cuban sandwich. Kokum's Bannock Kitchen. So some indigenous stuff. The bison meatballs were really good.
Ooh.
So there are some hits. I had other stuff that I like, but those are the ones I'll recommend. So booth 44, the Pan Con Le Sean, the Bannock Kitchen, Kokum's Bannock Chicken is booth 47. The bison meatballs were very good. I mean, there's a lot of well-known places there. You know, Katuki's is there. They got the Greek salad. I haven't had anything from there. I'll probably grab something at some point. But like I said, nothing where I've kind of been like, oh man, I would tell people to steer clear of that one.
Good.
And maybe along the way I'll have something that isn't as good. And I have noticed from being there, number 31, Joanne's Barbecue House, always has a massive lineup. So I'm assuming it must be good. They have a pork belly roast with rice. I would think that's what people are getting. But I haven't gone there yet, partially because the lineup is so long. Sometimes I don't want to wait in line for too long. But it's been fun. I like them. We probably won't go tonight just because it's kind of ugly. It looks a little sunnier now through the window, but I don't know if it's that.
Maybe there
nice
is hope for us to go to the.
Well, maybe you can still go.
Maybe we can dress for the weather.
The one thing I'm not sure about, and Hernan had one, these rice hot dogs. So they're like hot dog wieners on a stick, and then they're kind of coated in stuff. I'd like to know if people like those. I feel kind of scared to try one.
A rice hot dog.
A rice hot dog. It's booth 23, Chung Chun rice hot dog.
Huh.
And the one has, I think there's like chicken on the outside with hash browns in it, and then there's the hot dog in the middle. And they have a chocolate hot dog. So it says chocolate only, no meat. I'm not sure about those. But lots of fun stuff to try. I love going to Taste of Edmonton. I know you know what, I'm not even going to look in the nasty chat because I know there's somebody saying like, it's too expensive. Don't go. Okay? Spend your festival money on something else. I like going. There's my review so far. All right. Are we done?
I thought that was great. I really want to go. Dang it.
Well, now I've given you some places to go to. Oh, and I had also from the also from booth. Okay, so booth 3, I've had 3 of the 4 things, and I like them all. The shumai, they're little dumplings, little pork dumplings. Those were really good. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great going.
Yeah,
it's an absolute blast. So I'm fired up for Taste of Edmonton. You're fired up for Football Alberta?
I am.
Having an anniversary and being nude.
Yeah, and I got a limerick. Should we do a limerick?
Let's do it.
Limerick came in from Library Pat. Last week on the Reid Show with Jay, some officials were given their say. Fans learned a whole lot, so let's give it a shot. Added patience next season? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And we'll see when when there's somebody complaining about a call, and we're going to be quoting what Dave Jackson said to us, if people are still that patient. If you're taking us in on YouTube, by the way, give us a like.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb.
Give us a thumbs up. We try to get to 100 thumbs every show. We're going to have Cody Fajardo joining us in about an hour. Our words of the day before the end of the show as well. You can text the afternoon inbox, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Buying or selling for our buddy Damon Bunting when we get back.
This year's 6th overall pick, Porter Martone of the Flyers, has committed to Michigan State next season. Jumping ship from the CHL, he potted 98 points in 57 games with the OHL Steelheads last season. And for the Elks 880 Cheds, Morley Scott has reported that both Cody Fajardo and Tre Ford took first-team reps at practice today, while down south multiple sources are saying that Zach Tom and the Packers have agreed to a 4-year, $88 million extension. In baseball, the Jays and Yankees open up a 3-game series. Toronto fresh off sweeping the Giants, with New York 3 games back of Toronto for first in the AL East. Kevin Gausman takes the mound for the Jays with first pitch at 5:07. And ahead of the game, Toronto recalled pitcher Mason Fluharty from the AAA Bisons, making him active for the game tonight. There's 14 other games on the docket. San Fran taking on Atlanta, the Mets and Angels with a date, while the Red Sox meet the Phillies. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or give them a call at 780-467-5014. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting is what brings us back after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Dave Naylor from CFL and TSN.
Had it been a straight-up competition in training camp, Cody Fajardo probably would have been the starter in week number 1. They're playing the long game around a young quarterback who they wanted to give some runway to, and they know that Cody Fajardo isn't their long-term answer. I don't know that coming out of this bye week, it's about long-term answers in Edmonton anymore. I would not be surprised by either guy being the starter this week.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by South Ford Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss award-winning platinum country artist Jake Owen at the River Cree Resort and Casino, August 15th. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Tonight on Will It Store, 1 man, 6 bikes, and all the winter decorations still boxed up in the garage. Don't be that guy. Make space for summer with Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, good to have you tuning in this afternoon along with Jay Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everybody else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, you name it. You're not just playing for fun, you're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with the promo code YAG50, and you'll get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started, which is pretty cool. So, Elks playing in Saskatchewan on Friday. The Riders look great, obviously. The Elks do not. Cody Fajardo scheduled to join us at about 5:20 this afternoon, so we'll see. First of all, I want to ask about Monday Morning Magic, because that's a big thing for the EE organization to be a part of. And then just, what's going on with the team? What's the attitude like? What's his role at quarterback? Sharing reps today by the sounds of it. Okay, what do you read into that, first of all, that they appear to be sharing reps, that there's not a number one?
That Cody Fajardo is going to start this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, why would they be sharing, though, and just not have Fajardo as QB1?
Probably easing into it, Reid. Maybe, I think you suggested this early. Maybe it's a little bit of okay, let's see who's having the better week.
Right.
Let's see who's on. But, this will mark 1/3 of the season done.
Yeah. And you could be 1-5. And a great pace.
So, as an organization, you have to put your best foot forward, or in this case, your best quarterback. And right now, I don't know that anybody can confidently say that Tre Ford is the number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say that Cody Fajardo is going to come in and light the world on fire, but he's a proven CFL quarterback who completed 80% of his passes when he was in for limited time last game.
Right.
And that is what this team has a problem doing right now, is completing passes.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, obviously. We're simplifying it quite a bit here. But I think given the start they've had, and given just that Tre hasn't been able to push the ball downfield as much as they would have liked.
Yeah.
This might be the opportunity, or at least to say, okay, Tre, you've got company, if they are going to give Tre the ball.
Yeah, sounds like Killam's still non-committal after practice today. So, they're going to have to name somebody pretty soon.
Well, and that's a lot of that is gamesmanship. You're not going to know who is the starting quarterback till the depth chart comes out.
Right.
And I'm going to be down at practice probably Wednesday.
Okay.
And I'm going to be watching that quite closely, because you'll be able to probably know. But for Saskatchewan, that's hard to game plan for. Game planning for Tre Ford or Cody Fajardo. They're two different quarterbacks, different skill sets. So for Coach Killam, yeah, it's best to keep that information close to the vest. Is it close to the vest or close to the chest?
Close to the vest, I believe.
I believe it is.
Yes.
Both are applicable.
The idiom close to the vest, also sometimes close to the chest, according to AI, means to be secretive and keep information or plans hidden from others. It implies a cautious or reserved approach, particularly in sharing sensitive information or strategic plans. So you can say either. Because I guess if you're not wearing a vest,
you could say either.
Now, so when you were walking down the nude beach, it'd be close to the chest because you wouldn't have had a vest on.
The guy I was walking with had a vest of hair.
Vest of hair. He was quite a hairy man by the sounds of it.
Nickname was Chewbacca.
All right. I don't know where we're going with this next segment, but Jay promised me fun here. He was like, this is how the show often works. You want to talk about this? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. Or sometimes one guy just says, hey, I got something for this, for whatever. Okay. I don't want to tell you what it is. Okay. That's what happened today. Jay says, I got couple things for buying or selling. I said, okay. And then I'm like, do I need anything? Because usually I'm on the video game machine when this is happening.
Yeah.
So like, do I have to stop playing video games? Jay's like, no, I got it. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting. He was in studio the other day. A consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
Okay, so on the hangout today, as you alluded to, I mentioned that I do drive fast in mountainous regions if the weather permits.
Okay.
Another discussion that we had is that I received 18 years ago today as a wedding gift an atlas.
Oh, I didn't hear this part.
And I still use this atlas, and I hold it dear in my house because it's a beautiful atlas. I mean, atlases are a thing of the past almost now.
Yeah.
And I was told by Jolene Latimer and Matthew Wannick that that's just not a good wedding gift. And I said, I completely disagree.
Pardon me?
Yeah. So I wanted to know, would you ever give an atlas as a wedding gift?
I would now.
Yeah.
I think that's an awesome wedding gift.
I thought it was too. And it's not a cheap atlas. It's the real deal.
Yeah, like one with accurate maps. It's
not a kid's atlas or a...
Hey, Jay, I got you an atlas. There's Africa. There's Australia.
No, but you know what I mean? It's high quality. I'm going to bring it in tomorrow.
That's a nice...
for everyone to see. My atlas.
Right.
And Matt was so Matt's going to a wedding here in the next, I think this next week.
Someone invited him?
Yeah, hard to believe. And I said, you should do that. That is a really good wedding gift.
I agree.
So I want to know from you and those listening, is an atlas a good wedding gift, or is it just completely out of question, out of line?
I mean, I guess you have to.
Don't say what you're going to say. Don't say that.
Why?
You're going to say, well, you have to know who you're giving it to.
Well, you have to know how they're going to react.
Everybody in the world could use an atlas at some point.
No, that's a good point.
And I think, and the rebuttal from Maddie was that, well, you have an atlas on your phone.
That's not the same. It's not the same. My God, you have an atlas on your phone. I could. Anyway.
So you're pro atlas.
I think that's a really cool idea. And I think that, first of all, it's useful.
Yes.
Hey, where is something? Let's actually, we have an atlas. You know, it's different looking at a paper map and seeing different detail than you get on your phone. I know phones are amazing. I know there's Google Maps. I know right now I could zoom in on somebody's house in Australia using Google Street. But there's something about an atlas. And I also think it's a great conversation piece. You know, like...
It is.
I got to sneeze. Hang on.
Bless you.
We should sponsor my sneezes. That was Damon Bunting presented that one, by the way. So this married couple has company, has a dinner party, has relatives over for Christmas, whatever, has a friend or two over. They got a bookshelf. There's this very nice looking atlas on the shelf. You have an atlas? Oh, yeah. Jason Milne and April Milne got it for us for a wedding gift. Like, most unexpected thing, but does it ever look cool? Look at this. Here's a map of Georgia. Well, the country or the state? I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I still use it. I used it recently. My buddy was over. He was leaving for Europe for 6 weeks. And we looked at where he was going.
Right.
In my atlas.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, and it's different looking at it on paper than on your phone.
Much.
You can look at it, but you can kind of gather around a book, and the atlases are usually large.
We even compared the size of Europe to Alberta, and we were able to figure it out because of the scaling they use.
See?
I mean, it's fun. It's a great evening. You should break out the atlas.
I think that's a really cool idea, and we've talked about this before. Now, I suppose we're maybe assuming a lot of people getting married are in their 20s. So maybe they have different views towards gifts. But you and I have talked about, because we both had birthdays since the show started. We've been through Christmas. That you and I have different perspectives on receiving gifts than we used to.
Yeah.
We appreciate stuff, but it's also like we don't want junk.
Yeah. Don't need it.
Don't need it. You know, I talked about, wasn't it Father's Day? I said, I'm not getting my dad anything. And that's exactly what he wants. Not like he means it. Yeah, like, don't get me anything.
Why?
Give me a family experience. Let's go to a restaurant we all like. Good enough. You know, he doesn't need another drill or another level or what. They should have got my dad a level every year for Father's Day. Yeah, still level. So, but if you're getting something that's very unique, that's very memorable, and I do think that's something lasting. Even if borders change or whatever, like there's still cities are going to be in the same place and stuff like that. But I think it's like, it's not purely a material, like it is a material, but it's not like, oh, I got you, here's an electronic thing that's going to break in 3 years.
Yeah, here's a Nintendo.
Yeah, like, and it's like a timeless, you could have bought somebody an Atlas in 1925. And you can still get somebody an Atlas in 2025.
Yep.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Now watching the next year, all these people are going to be getting multiple Atlases. Some couple's going to get married at the end of August, and you're going to be like, we got 4 Atlases. How the hell did we get, like, one would have been surprising enough.
EMG says it's not a good gift for anyone under the age of 40. The Gourd Father says cash is the only gift people want now. He says Atlas Talk, this is from the Hangout, Atlas Talk is the biggest boomer versus millennial example ever. And Grumpy Cat says, an Atlas won me a stellar argument in university. Good for you. Okay, pro Atlas, that's good to know. My second buying or selling, go ahead.
What was the one comment, the second or third last one?
Cash is the only gift people want now? Or the millennials?
See, to me, that's awkward, though.
I'm okay
like,
with
how much cash do you give?
They could buy an Atlas on their own with cash.
I guess.
The cash, it's okay. So if you're going to a place, let's say it's $75 a plate, you double that and give it to them in cash.
I see what you're saying.
And if you have a date, well, that means you're now giving $300.
So you cover the plate,
double it,
and then they have a little bit of spending money.
That's just the general, I think, rules of.
I remember a couple that I got married. They're no longer together, unfortunately. They didn't have a garage, but they were going to get like some prefab garage from Home Depot.
Right.
So you get all the material and build it yourself. And they asked for a bunch of Home Depot gift cards. So I got them a Home Depot card. And then a few months later, she was like, "Hey, you helped build our garage, Reid." Like,
that's
okay.
Cool.
About 15 Albertas could fit into the land area of Europe, according to ChatGTP.
Smitty the Welder, you all sure jumped ship on Tre Ford pretty quick. I thought he needed a runway, even if they started slow. That's what I heard all off season. Well, if you were listening to me, Smitty the Welder, I've never been I've never been the president of the Tre Ford Club from day one. So this is now, and look, he still may get the ball.
Yeah,
come Friday night.
Oh yeah,
it'll
or down the road
with a short leash. But you do have a proven quarterback sitting as backup in a team that is struggling.
I think. Maybe I have jumped ship, Smitty, but I think at 1-4 and playing as poorly as they have in the last game and a couple of other games. Like we needed to see Tre Ford play for an extended period of time. Well, how long do you extend that period if they're not winning and against BC not even moving the ball? I guess that would be my counter to that. It's a fair comment though.
It is. And those fans that wanted Tre Ford are sure getting what they wanted. Grocery store etiquette, Reid. Buying or selling. I was at the grocery store yesterday.
Okay.
You know what my daughter wanted for supper yesterday? I like to cook on the weekends.
Craft dinner.
Brisket.
Oh, cool. Okay. Better than craft dinner.
A little bit better. I went and got a brisket, cut it in half, and I smoked the flat.
Oh, nice.
So it didn't take as long. And there was a lineup at the till. There was only one register open.
Okay.
Because it was at 10 in the morning.
There's no auto checkout? No self-checkout?
No, not at this place.
Okay.
And there was like 3 or 4 people behind me in line, but I was next up behind someone with a rather large order or shopping list.
Yeah.
Lots of groceries. So they sent over somebody to open another till.
Okay.
And immediately the guy from the back of the line, so we all took notice at the same time.
Yeah.
And she says, "Can I help? Who's next?" The guy at the back of the line goes directly up to the front of that.
No, you were next.
I'm next.
Yes.
They should be looking at me saying, excuse me, sir. Because you know what I would have said? I'm almost up here. Go ahead.
Right.
But that pissed me off. That's improper grocery store etiquette.
That wasn't good.
I mean, where does that guy get off? Going from the back of the line to the front of an open till.
How deep in the line was he?
He was fourth. I was second. I was first. There was a second and a third. He was the last.
Here's what I think he should have done. He should have stepped out of the line, but straight to his right or left.
Just to give the opening?
Just to indicate, I'm going to go to this other line, but one or two of you ahead of, because you'd assume, okay, let's divide it up evenly.
Yeah.
Right? If there's 4 people waiting, 2 stay in that line, 2 go to the other line. So he should have stepped out like straight to the side, kind of slowly, tried to make eye contact with someone ahead of him. And then when they step out, he just kind of gives the hand gesture just to acknowledge, like, hey, I'm going, but I know you were ahead of me. Or maybe then 2 people jump out in front of him, and then he slowly slides back into the original line. It's like I'm drawing up a football play. Okay, guys, here we go. I've got 5 in line here. Okay, first person that's standing, they got a lot. Look out here now. All right, got the back. What he didn't do. You step straight aside. You step straight aside. Okay, 1 stride. He's like demonstrating. Straight to the side, yeah? Okay, and you look. You got to look. Okay, now you can see both. You got line up. You got the empty tail. Who going?
What? Oh, this is good.
It's our football coach character.
He's come out in the office a couple times. Usually a good laugh. So
did you say something to this guy?
No, I mean,
like, hey, I think I was
Sunday
ahead of you,
morning.
man.
What am I going to do? Make an ass of myself at Sobeys? You know what? Be better. That person probably didn't return his card.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, probably. I mean, I guess if he's stepping over and no one else goes after 3 or 4 seconds, then I would be like, okay. But I would say, like, hey, does anybody want to go? I would probably say something. And I think, here's a side note for me. We have to get over our reluctance to talk to other people in public. It's so, like, sometimes I'm somewhere and it's, Taste of Edmonton's a good example. There might be a mishmash. Who's waiting in line? Who's just standing there eating? Who's looking at the menu and isn't ready? You know what? It's not a big deal to say, excuse me, are you the end of the line?
Yeah. Communicate.
And then if they aren't the end of the line, the people who are at the end of the line might say, no, it's actually over here. Okay, I guess I'm behind you. You know, so I'm not butting. I'm checking. You know what I do at Taste of Edmonton? If I'm standing next to somebody or I see them throwing out a dish, if you're kind of stuck beside someone, I'll be like, what'd you have? Because I want to know what's good.
I thought you were going to say, can I finish that?
Yeah, well, I might do that. So we have to get over this, like, let's not communicate. We gotta go out in the world, but let's never interact. Let's like that guy should have been like.
So I should have said something. I guess in a perfect world, I should have politely said, excuse me, sir, I believe I'm next. When she said, I'll help who's next in line, that would refer to the person that's next.
Yeah, move quick.
Yeah, move quick. Coach Jose. So maybe that was partially my fault for not speaking up.
Yeah, I don't know, because if I was in your situation, I would
be more upset if I was the third person in line,
right?
And he's like, well, what the heck? You know, it's supposed to be that guy's, and then that puts me one closer. Now I'm screwed either way.
Right. How old was this guy?
Too old.
Oh, older than me?
Probably. He should have known better.
Should have known better.
He's old enough to know better. I'll put it that way.
Well, I'm buying that we need better lineup etiquette. And again, just communicate. Like, we're so terrified as a society now to talk to another human being.
Well, even if he was like, even if he stepped away or side to side, like you said,
yeah.
If you say, is anybody going to go?
Yeah.
Offer that first, and if everybody's like,
and then if everybody else is all wimpy about it, he'd be like, okay, thanks.
Okay, well, I'm going.
Yeah, like I get, like he didn't necessarily have to be overly deferential, but since he was last in line, there'd be the assumption that he would try to respect the original order of things.
Just no reluctance. He had no qualms about it. He was going to the front of the line.
Yeah, that's selfish.
Yep.
We are coming to you from the banquet studio. Be courteous if you're in line at the banquet. or visiting their booth at Taste of Edmonton. The banquet summer feature menu is here. Bacon-wrapped pickles, spicy Korean noodle bowls, and cocktails like the Pink Lady and Blueberry Hibiscus Smash. Try now at the banquet. Get real. Play hard. The Oil Understood coming up. We're going to talk about which Oilers have the most pressure on them for this coming season. The off-topic topic for William Huff. We've had some fun chatting about it. It's not too late to get your submission in. We want to hear a horror story, awkward moment, embarrassing moment concerning a wedding or an anniversary. Okay? 780-218-9999 is how you text the River Crew Resort and Casino inbox. A reminder, Cody Fajardo from the Elks is going to join us at 5:20. Here's the Coop.
After recording 98 points with the Steelheads in the OHL last season, Flyers 6th overall pick Porter Martone has committed to Michigan State for next season, and the Elks were back at practice this morning. According to 880 Cheds, Morley Scott, Tre Ford, and Cody Fajardo shared first-team reps as they get set to face the Riders on Friday. From Green Bay, multiple reports are saying that the Packers and Zach Tom have agreed to a 4-year deal worth $88 million. Meanwhile, the Jays and Yankees open up 3-game series. Toronto first in the AL East. New York sitting 3 games back of the Jays entering the game tonight. Kevin Gausman gets the call for Toronto. First pitch just after 5 with Toronto recalling Mason Flaherty from the Bisons, making him active for the game. Meanwhile, other action around baseball, there's 5 games live right now, including the Red Sox and Phillies runless in the top of the first, and the Padres and Marlins locked at zeros in the first inning as well. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The Oil Understood for GCL Diesel brings us back after a brief break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
Best frozen dessert aisle item in your eyes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if this counts. This might not count, but this is my go-to dessert. Frozen raspberries. I let them melt just a little bit, and I put honey on top, and I eat that I could eat that 3 or 4 times a week.
That actually sounds delicious.
It's so delicious. If you let them melt just a little bit, they're still frozen, but they're kind of squishy. They're I don't know, it's the most delicious thing ever.
It's like an iced raspberry-ish?
Yeah.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Salute to Service is back. Your Edmonton Elks battle the Hamilton Tiger Cats Saturday, August 2nd, 1300 hours. We're incredibly grateful for all those who serve our community, so we're dedicating this game to them with a celebration for all service workers, featuring a pre-game flyover by the Royal Canadian Air Force, and see who wins our inaugural Salute to Service Cup flag football tournament. EE Salute to Service, presented by James H. Brown & Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Tonight on Will It Store? 1 man, 6 bikes, and all the winter decorations still boxed up in the garage. Don't be that guy. Make space for summer with Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Jason Milne, Reid Wilkins in the Banquet Studio. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We have extended coverage on Friday, so when this show ends at 6, the stream will continue with the Green and Gold Kickoff Show with Jay, with Matthew Awanek, as the Elks go into Saskatchewan to face the Rough Riders. Cody Fajardo, who may or may not wind up playing in that game, is going to join us in about half an hour. We had Cody on, well, I guess it would have been close to 2 months ago now, because it was during training camp, right? So they're going into week 8. So yeah, probably 2 months ago. He was outstanding to talk to.
Yes.
Now this interview,
might be a little
it's
different.
not going to be like we're not going to grill the guy, but there's some stuff not great with the team. Look, we want to ask him Monday Morning Magic. I don't think he's played in Saskatchewan since he left the Riders. I saw that somewhere today, even though he was with Montreal a couple of years. So we want to ask him about that, but like we got to ask him, you've been on a lot of teams. How big is the gap between the 1-4 Elks and the rest of the teams in the league? What's it like with Tre Ford today? You know, what's you're sharing reps. What's it like between, like, they know it's a competitive position, but I mean, we have to ask those questions. How he wants to answer them is up to him. Just like I asked Justin McInnes, the referee, on Wednesday, what game are you working this week? Can I ask you that? And then I said, well, I guess I can ask you. And he goes, you can, but I'm not answering because I can't give out my assignment ahead of time. So anyway, we're looking forward to have Cody on. I think he's going to be honest. I don't think he's going to sugarcoat anything. But the one thing I noticed about Fajardo from that interview we did, I don't think he's going to be sulking. I think he's going to be like, I got a job to do, Tre's got a job to do, and I'm sure he's going to tell you they still believe they can do it. I'm guessing.
Yep.
I'm hoping. But I mean, we got to say, like, 1-4 is 1-4. You can't sugarcoat that. It's a business that's about winning, right?
Yes.
All right. The Oil Understood is presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood.
Okay, Reid.
Hello, Jay.
How are you?
Yes, very good.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I have an answer. I think it's quite clear, but I know you have, obviously different perspectives, different thoughts. Thankfully,
I'm an alternative thinker.
Yes. Which Oiler has the most pressure heading into the next season?
Which Oiler has the most pressure heading into 24-25?
Yep.
Well, a couple names immediately spring to mind. But as you know, I don't always like giving the most obvious answer, so I'm going to think while I'm talking.
Well, mine is probably the most obvious answer.
Okay, let's say it at the same time.
1, 2, 3.
Stuart Skinner. Okay. I mean, he's coming off.
There's no question.
He's coming off an off year. Some people think he's an off goalie. Some people are thinking, oh, you guys are idiots. He's actually a bad goalie. I don't believe that.
Neither do I.
If you look at his first couple of seasons in the league, he was pretty decent. I think my criticism of Skinner, or my comment of Skinner, would be his low end needs to be better. And that's sort of what we saw. I think he's become such a talking point for people. I try to look at everything fairly, and I feel as if there are some people who are really down on Stuart Skinner who refuse to acknowledge when he plays well. And when he came back, when Pickard got hurt, his first 7 or 8 games after that were really good. I mean, I know he lost a couple in there, but he had 3 shutouts. He played well in other games. So he has a high end. I think it's fair to say that you need to see his high end a little more often, and or his lower end needs not to be as low as it has been.
Agreed.
Not like you're pulled 5 minutes in the second period, not a 780 game, save percentage. I think we saw it, and I'm not saying he's maybe ever going to be as good as this guy, but I think he can be closer to this tier. I mean, even look at Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky got scored on in the Stanley Cup final. Bobrovsky even let in a couple goals where it's like, Nurse isn't supposed to score over his shoulder like that,
Yeah.
But for most of that series, Florida was leading, tied, or within a goal. And Bobrovsky was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
He kept things under control. You know, he gave up costly goals. He got scored on an overtime a couple of times, but he always kept his team in it. And I think that's what you need from. I think that's the mark of good goaltending. It's not just the spectacular games; is that you keep your team in it on maybe when you're having an off night or they're having an off night. It's my old Kelly Rudy story. He played on a higher scoring era. 5-5 after 2. You're not playing great. Win a period. Get a 20-minute shutout. You walk out winning. You're not looking at your save percentage or your goals against average. You got the win. So I think Skinner, and plus now they've changed the goalie coach, right? I mean, there's been all this debate, Schwartz this. You change the goalie coach. Hopefully it's a different relationship. Maybe it helps Skinner. So now it's sort of, a lot of this is on the player.
And contract year.
Absolutely. Well, and that's a great point. You asked me about that last week. I mean, this could be the difference between a $5 to $7 million annual contract for Stuart Skinner to a $2 million
on a different team.
On a different team. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so we shared the same opinion on who has the most pressure. Who would be second on your list, Reid?
You know, I guess Bouchard came to mind just because he got the new contract.
Yeah, to me, that just lessens it.
But I think here's the thing. I think we kind of know what we're going to get from Bouchard. Yeah. And it's going to drive some people crazy, but he's going to produce points. He's going to help the power play. He's probably going to have 6 to 10 maddening nights during the regular season. And based on previous experience, he's probably going to be pretty good in the playoffs. But I would still say he's got to live up to that contract. So I would still have Bouchard on a list if I had a list. I would think there's going to be some pressure on Trent Frederick. I would think there's certainly going to be some pressure on another new guy, Andrew Mangiapane.
What about the youngest, the Savoy and Ike Howard? I mean, especially in terms of Ike Howard. I mean, right now I'm looking at Daily Faceoff. He's where they have him is on the first line wing with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman.
They have who there?
Ike Howard.
Yeah, that's outrageous to predict that at this point.
But I know that you're absolutely correct. But along with that comes pressure. Because obviously the people behind this, or, you know, in the general sentiment once that signing has happened, was that, oh, how many goals is he going to score? Oh, Calder Trophy. You know, all this is building up for a player who's never played in the NHL.
Well, I think there's some pressure. I'm not going to include Tomasek in this because I don't know what to expect from him. But they need Savoy and Howard to contribute. They don't need them to score 30 goals, but man, oh man, 15 could be nice. I mean, if you got 15 from Mangiapane, Howard, Savoy, and even Frederick, that's a nice little contribution from forwards, 5 through 8 or 6 through 9 that combine for 60 goals. That'd be pretty good. I think there'd be, to me, Skinner's number one. I think you'd have to put Bouch up there.
I like that Trent Frederick one because he came in, he was injured the whole time.
Right.
And I still think he was dealing with that injury throughout the playoffs. And talk about a deal. I mean, that was the biggest eye-opener, jaw-dropper.
Yeah.
Hernan was ranting and raving about the no move and the term and the amount. Yeah, that's probably you could probably suggest that Trent Frederick might have as much.
That might be in the top three. That might be the top three: Stuart Skinner, Evan Bouchard, and Trent Frederick. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be great if these guys don't score, but if Matt Savoy winds up playing most of the year in Bakersfield, okay, you give him another year development. If Trent Frederick scores 8 goals, that's not going to be very good.
Yeah.
If it's November 30th and Matt Savoy has 3 goals and is on pace for an 8-goal season, you might say, okay, kid, you got to go to Baco and keep learning. I mean, I'm not saying that's be great because they need younger players to excel, but I think there's some pressure there. I think there's some pressure on Henrique. I think there's even pressure on Hyman to come back from the injury, and you'd love to have him score in the mid-30s again, but it's not the same level as some of the other guys we're talking about.
Is there pressure on Henrique? Because pressure means that you have expectations. of this
that's
player.
a fair point. Maybe there's no
And
expectations.
I don't know what expectations you could actually
You'd
have.
like him to be more noticeable.
You would.
But okay, maybe he's just not going to be anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. That's been a tough one for sure. What about Darnell Nurse? This is coming up. Penner's Pancake in the Nasty Chat says, I'm going with Nurse. He needs to quiet the critics.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
As in, you don't think he cares to quiet the critics? Or that he actually just...
I don't think his critics will ever be quieted. I think there's always going to be... And Dusty and I were talking about this, and it's an old conversation with Nurse. He's never going to produce a ton of points. He's never going to be your best offensive defenseman, especially now that they have Bouchard. He might not even get as many points as Wallman.
Well, then be the best defensive defenseman.
Right.
That would probably quiet a lot of people.
Right. But is there, to me, extraneous pressure on Nurse more than usual? I don't think so.
Yeah, but it all stems from this contract.
Right, which isn't going away.
That's not going anywhere.
Which nobody in the NHL would have, 98% of players in the NHL wouldn't have turned it down.
Exactly.
So again, it's
if you want to be mad at somebody, you should be mad at his agent for doing such a darn good job.
It's getting a little bit of an old thing for me. Should they extend Wallman? Would you extend Wallman already?
He's got one more year left at what?
3.4? I guess maybe you see how he plays.
I mean, you could. How does that work? Could you do that during the season?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if he comes off and he's having a good start to the year.
Yeah, if Wallman has 20 points by the halfway point of the season, do you say we got to lock him up for a few more years?
But what does that mean, Reid? What does that mean to lock him up? Is that a 5-6 year deal?
He's 29. No, you'd probably try to get him for 3 to 5.
Right.
I mean, last year he had 40 points in 65 games. That's actually pretty good.
Right, but what valuation would you put that at? I mean, he's at 3.4 right now.
Well, yeah, then he might be looking for around $5 million.
If you could get him for 4 or say 5 years at $5 million, I think you'd take that and you'd lock it up. Because even if things fell apart, that's still a contract you could move.
Yeah, probably, especially if he keeps producing. Or maybe he's going to be thinking, "Oh man, I'm going to go to a team that's." I mean, not a lot of teams would have given Klingberg what he got 4, but he went to one of the worst teams in the league. So maybe Wallman.
And what other team would you want to go to?
Well, yeah, I don't know him well.
You're on the team that's got,
but he's on the team that
really
just
good chance
went to
of going.
I mean, he went from San Jose to Edmonton, which for him was a pretty good move mid-season.
Has a history with McDavid. They played together.
Penner's Pancake says he would extend Wallman 3 years times 5.5. That would be a fair deal, I think, with the cap going up.
Yep.
I mean, if he's a half a point per game defenseman, that's pretty valuable. Who apparently can play with a little sass, which we saw in the postseason.
I wonder if that happens before the season.
Probably not with him. They probably wait and see how he plays. I would guess. I mean, Bouchard had 67 points. Yeah, I mean, based on last year's stats for the full season, Wallman would have been the Oilers' second highest scoring defenseman. And I wonder, too, if they tweak the power play or if the power play is struggling, if the change is Nugent Hopkins off, Wallman on, and you have 2D.
I've been a fan of that since those words came out of your mouth. Because to be quite honest, I found that the value of Nuge on that power play has gone substantially down. His input has just simply not been there. And if you want to shake things up on that power play, yes, you could move Evan Bouchard around a bit. But if you have 2 shots like that at your disposal, why not?
All right, we're late into the 5 o'clock break. In about 15 or 16 minutes, Cody Fajardo from your Edmonton Elks is going to join us. The Cougs coming up as well.
2 guys and a goalie.
I think for McDavid, I have to go with Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. Wow. Okay.
Marvel character, runs extremely fast, can knock you out, can hit you when you least expect it or hurt you when you least expect it because you don't know he's coming, even though I guess teams know. But yeah, I had to do something speed related. Okay. So I'm going to do Quicksilver.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Win a trip to Osheaga with the Banquet and Aperol. We're sending one lucky guest to Montreal with flights, hotel, and 2 tickets to one of Canada's hottest music festivals. Enter by July 26. Details in store or on the Banquet app. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Flyers 6th overall pick Porter Martone is leaving the OHL, coming to Michigan State in the NCAA next season. Martone having 98 points, 37 goals in 57 games with the Steelheads last season. In 880 Ched's Morley Scott reported that Cody Fajardo and Tre Ford shared first-team reps at practice today as they prep to battle the Riders on Friday. And down south, there's multiple reports saying that Zach Tom and the Packers have agreed to a 4-year, $88 million contract worth up to a maximum amount of $92 million. And Mason Flaherty has been recalled from the AAA Bisons, being active for the Jays in tonight's series opener against the Yankees. New York sits 3 games back of the Jays for first place in the AL East. Kevin Gausman starts for the Jays with first pitch in just a moment. And right now, 5 games are live. Red Sox up 1-0 over the Phillies in the top of the second, while the Orioles and Guardians are locked at 3 apiece in the bottom of the first. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Must you click? Click.
All right, yeah, give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for checking out the show. Subscribe to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Maybe you got us on the audio stream, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. Now, I'm preaching to the choir if that's how you're listening to us. But you can help us out. Let people know, hey, here's how you check these guys. I still get it, Jay. Oh, did you retire? You're not on Chet anymore. No, I'm not lying on Seba Beach drinking mojitos. Seba Beach. What happened to that Dustin Nielsen guy? He just does CFL games now? No, he still has a morning show. Where's Lieutenant Eric? Did he move to Miami? No, he's with Dustin in the morning. We're all here. Spread the word about EST. We love working here. We love this station.
Yeah, it's a joy.
We continued growth. We're moving to a bigger, more beautiful office in a week. Who knows what else might be coming up down the pipe. So it's pretty fun. You know what you can do? You can text us 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant, all you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Cody Fajardo is going to join us in 10 to 15 minutes after Elks practice and after the team did Monday Morning Magic at K-Days, which is a pretty big thing for the organization. So, Jay, I didn't get to watch quite as much CFL as I was hoping to on the weekend. I only saw one of the 4 games, which is kind of lame. I will admit that. But I watched Saskatchewan, BC, and Saskatchewan crushed them. Now, the score was 33-27 for Sask. BC got a touchdown and a 2-point convert with 19 seconds left or something like that. At one point, it was 33-11. And the Riders look awesome. And Calgary crushed Winnipeg again.
Yeah.
Like, is this Calgary and Winnipeg head and shoulders above the rest of the league so far?
Calgary and Saskatchewan, you mean?
What did I say?
Winnipeg.
Well, definitely not Winnipeg at this point.
Calgary, yes. Calgary, yes. I would say Saskatchewan, okay, sure. Put them up there. But there's two things I can say coming out of this weekend. Is one, for Elks fans, they should be very happy. This went about as good as it could have went because BC is still in striking distance. Winnipeg is still in striking distance. There's separation now in the West, which is what the Elks need.
Calgary and Saskatchewan can run away with it.
They can.
The Elks need to pass at least one of Winnipeg or BC.
And I got to say, Reid, I'm wondering and worried about the state of Zach Collaros. Left the game with another, banged his head on the turf.
Right.
He's had concussion issues in the past. I don't know. At what point do you just say, okay, I gotta look out for myself here? Because that was I don't like watching that. That's hard to see when a professional athlete, and that there's been a history, is trying to shake the hand of nobody that's there.
Right.
It's a tough one. So I don't know. And because the alternative right now, anyways, is Chris Streveler, and that guy can't stay in the pocket. But he
always
out of the
seems
pocket.
to do something good when he plays, though, doesn't he?
He did not look that great.
Okay.
The second thing I learned is that if you want to be in a good team in the CFL, you have to get there with 4-man pressure, which Saskatchewan and Calgary does quite successfully.
Right.
Without blitzes. Front four, getting to the quarterback, creating havoc in the backfield without blitzing looks to be a key to success. Now that's football 101, okay? But given this Elks team and the changes that they made on defense and the money they spent there. Now Jake Serezna was on the field yesterday. Mechie, I believe, was on the one game.
Yeah.
So Mechie will not be there. It was great that Jake Serezna's there. That front four needs to get pressure somehow. Whether it's schemes, moving them around, I'm not sure. But that is clear to me that they simply aren't getting it done. The only way the Elks can get pressure is also what kills them the most, is when they have to send an extra blitzer and it puts them in a cover zero position.
Right.
Where it's all one-on-ones across the board. Well, Nathan Rourke can pick that apart if he has time. Well, guess what? He didn't have time on Saturday.
Right.
And Saskatchewan made him pay. Nathan Rourke, and you said this last week, is how good are the Lions if they come out of this weekend with a loss, knowing that they've only 2 of their 3 wins have come against the lowly Elks.
Right.
So that's also going to get in their head.
They've matched the Elks with losses, and they've played 2 more games. They're 3-4. Edmonton's 1-4. But BC beat the Elks twice. I mean, that's the main reason the Elks are last. So
you know what? I've regained a bit of optimism for this team.
How?
They have not put together any semblance of a complete game. The closest they had was against Ottawa. But the defense still wasn't great. If they are improving, and having bye weeks early in the season probably doesn't help, to be quite honest, for a team that's struggling. If you're a team that's rolling, that's fine. But this team needs to be together more right now. I said earlier that there was somebody in the office that's quite optimistic about them this week.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
No. nor is it me.
But Reid, it's a CFL. Who knows what's going to happen in the quarterback position? If it is Fajardo. But then again, Tre Ford has played well against Saskatchewan in the past. And I still believe, look, I don't know, it could be either quarterback, but Tre Ford did not play well at all. That was probably one of his worst games we've seen.
True.
I want to see if he can bounce back. I want to see test his mettle. See if he can be the Tre that everybody wants him to be after a showing like that.
Right.
Whether he gets the opportunity, TBD, bro.
TBD, bro. Indeed. Yeah, but I said going into the week that the best thing for the Elks was to have both Winnipeg and BC lose because it keeps them both at 3 wins.
Yep.
And it does. The Elks have 2 games in hand on the Lions. They have played the same number of games as Winnipeg, who is 3-2. We get a lot of people saying, well, if they can just finish ahead of Toronto and Ottawa. No, not enough. If you're going to be the crossover team, you have to be 4th in your division. So, I mean, it wouldn't matter if the 5th place team in the West had the record to be 1st in the East. Wouldn't matter. You got to finish ahead of at least somebody in your division. So this is not going to be easy for the Elks, I don't think, to reel in BC or Winnipeg. They're trailing the season series against both those teams. You make a good point. We'll see how Winnipeg does if it's Strevler for an extended period of time. And BC, I mean, I still think Rourke is great, but he hasn't been, I guess, quite good enough. And their defense doesn't get a lot of stops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair to compare them. They've allowed the most points in the West, but they've played more games than everybody else. So per game, it's still the Elks allowing the most points. But BC Harris in the first half, didn't he throw for almost 250 yards?
Just ridiculous.
I mean, long bomb touchdown on the 4th play of the game or something. So BC's not getting the stops. And then Rourke, who is very good, they need him to be almost perfect the rest of the way. And that's hard to do. All right. We will have Cody Fajardo from your Edmonton Elks checking in a couple of minutes. But first, we got the Cube with the sports update.
Through the first inning of play, the Yankees and Jays are locked at 0s. Toronto first in the AL East. New York 3 games back of the Jays in second place. And there's tons of other action around the league. 7 other games live. The Angels and Mets just getting underway. Runless in the top of the first. The Nationals up 4-0 in the top of the third over the Reds, while the Phillies are down 1-0 to Boston in the third inning. And another CHL player is committed to the NCAA Flyers. 6th overall pick, Porter Martone, committing to Michigan State for next season. He comes off a 98-point season with the OHL Steelheads. And the Elks are back at practice ahead of Friday's game against the Riders. 880 Cheds. Morley Scott reporting that Tre Ford and Cody Fajardo shared first-team reps this morning. In the CFL, the Packers lock up Zach Tom for 4 years, giving the right tackle $88 million with a contract worth up to $92 million total. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call Advantage Sport Medicine at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. Elks QB Cody Fajardo up next here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The oil stream.
Yes, goaltending needed to be better. Again, Senior Boots, you're not listening. We're not sitting here saying they got there because of goaltending, but goaltending was a part of, they had back-to-back shutouts.
Hey, yeah, one guy had 3 shutouts in 4 games. The other guy went 7-0 until the Cup final when he started his first game and lost.
You can't say despite of goaltending. Yes. Goaltending won him some games.
The oil stream presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
avocado and feta dip, passion fruit cheesecake, and cocktails that taste like summer in a glass. Try the new feature menu at The Banquet. Refreshing, craveable, and made for sunny days. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Don't miss award-winning platinum country artist Jake Owen at the River Cree Resort and Casino, August 15th. Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Tonight on Will It Store? One man, 6 bikes, and all the winter decorations still boxed up in the garage. Don't be that guy. Make space for summer with Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. 22 minutes after 5, we'll be connecting with Elks quarterback Cody Fajardo. In a couple of minutes, Elks going into Saskatchewan to play the Riders, who have looked excellent so far this season. We will have our Green and Gold kickoff show, 6 o'clock, after the Reid Wilkins show on Friday. You're going to stick around, Jay. Matthew Iwanek will be on with you. You'll be on after the game for the Green and Gold post-game show, as well as the Elks try to get a victory over the Riders and turn their fortunes around a little bit. Okay, we got Cody joining us for the second time this season. Cody, you're on with Reid Wilkins and Jason Milne. Thanks for doing this again. We love talking to you during training camp. I'm going to, before we get to the football stuff, I want to go down a couple different avenues with you. It was Monday morning magic for the Double E today at K-Days, which has been a staple for the franchise. What was it like for you to get out there in K-Days and interact with some very special people?
Oh, it was incredible, to tell you the truth. And I know that there's a lot of tradition in that, and the organization showing up and for the kids and being there for the kids. And I forgot how many spinny rides there are at a carnival until we went. But I had a great group of kids that basically we went from ride to ride to ride, and towards the end of it, I said, "Hey, look, guys, I can't do any more spinning rides. I got practice coming up." So then they took me over to bumper cars, and it just puts a lot of things in perspective, and you just feel grateful just to be a part of something like that, something so special like that. And these kids are just so excited to see us and interact with us, and so it's one of those things where you feel incredibly honored to be a part of, and just put smiles on kids' faces.
Cody, I'm wondering, when we talk to pro athletes, and in this market, it's a lot of hockey players and a lot of football players. So we talk a lot about the practices. We talk a lot about the meetings, obviously the games, the X's and O's, the preparation. But I'm curious, from your journey as an athlete, when did you sort of realize, if I want to make a living doing this, I also have to be meeting the expectations in the community and with the fans? Maybe it was in college, maybe it was even going back to high school, but when did it sort of click for you? That's part of the job, is being that guy out there in the community with the fans.
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, it hit me when I was in Sask. I think that was the biggest part. I felt how powerful my platform was, being the starting quarterback for the Rough Riders, and everybody knows how crazy that fan base is for football. And in college, you feel it a little bit, especially in Reno. It's a college town, and there's no pro sports there, so everybody feels like the university is their pro sports. So you're in the community there, but you're still a young kid. You still don't kind of understand. People say, hey, go here, and you're like, I'd much rather be doing X, Y, and Z. But as you get older, I think you realize the impact you have on people, and God's blessed me with an incredible platform and incredible talent to play football. And so that's when it really struck me was 2019 in Sask. I mean, it was one of those things where every time I went somewhere, it was like you felt like an A1 celebrity. People just want to be around you, want pictures of you. I could have been at church and, people are trying to take, pictures afterwards. And that's what it's all about. You feel like a professional athlete. And like I said, I've been given such a great platform that I want to do everything I can to give back to the community.
So when you are approached by whether it's somebody younger, like maybe some of the people you hung out with today, or even adults, it might be a quick interaction. Like it could literally be 7 seconds. What do you try to say or convey? Or maybe if you get to have a longer conversation with a 13-year-old boy or girl who wants to play football or succeed in life, what do you try to get across in a short period of time?
Honestly, what I learned works best is just to listen. I feel like, especially with kids, they're so used to people telling them what to do and everybody's just telling them things. Sometimes just listening and just being a ear for them just to talk. And, they have some great questions. And I'll tell you this, some challenging questions. And some of these kids have great futures in sports and asking questions and analysts because they'll ask you some tough, hard-hitting questions that I sometimes don't have the answer to. But in an interaction so short, it's one of those things where you just want to try and put a smile on their face. You want to get them feeling good about themselves, just build up confidence-wise. Because I know as a young kid myself, anytime I interacted with a pro athlete, I was a sports nut growing up, still am. And so anytime I got the opportunity to interact with a sports athlete, one, I was starstruck. And two, you don't really know what to ask, so you just kind of ask crazy questions. But I try to make people feel as comfortable as possible because you can see them, their hands shaking a little bit or their voice trembling a little bit. And so you try to lead the conversation one way or another to just get them comfortable. And then it's just one of those things where you feel like you can have a real impact when they're asking the questions and you hopefully can give them the right answers.
Cody Fajardo from the Elks joining us on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. I'm going to share a very quick story with you before I ask the question. Several years ago, I was doing a story with some new Elks players before the first game of the season. It was still the old team name then. And I was talking to a defensive lineman, and the first game was against his most recent former team. And I said, "What's it like playing this team?" And he's like, "Reid, Edmonton's my 5th team out of 9. I'm not." It doesn't matter there's no former team thing with you, but you were a rider for a while, and I feel like your star kind of rose there. Is there, and I think if my stats check out correctly, I don't think you got to play in Regina as an Alouette. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is there anything for you going back to Regina on Friday?
No, and that's exactly right. How I went to Montreal for 2 years, and every time we played Sask, I was unfortunately injured. So it just didn't line up in the cards. And who knows if it lines up in the cards for this week. But I think that person who answered it sounded a lot like me because when people asked me that going in, last year we played at Sask, and I was just coming back from my hamstring, and Coach Moss didn't feel comfortable enough with me starting. So I was a backup, and they asked me, that same question. And now this is my 5th team out of 9. And I feel like the more teams I play on, the more enemies I have. So it's like every team in the league is a get-back game for me based off of, my journey. So there's not one team. Like, obviously, Sask means a little bit more to me. And the reason why is my son was born there. It was the first place that gave me my true official start and kind of anointed me as the franchise guy. So, but I have no bad blood against them by any means. It's just one of those things that'll be a lot of fun just to take part into their beautiful stadium. And they got crazy fans that love football. And so I'm sure I'll hear the boos and I'll hear everybody talking, talking down the Elks, but it'll be an exciting atmosphere. But at this point in my career, everybody's enemy number one. And, I've played on 5 teams, so it's about the same thing.
Okay. Well, to mention the plight of the Elks, look, a tough game about a week and a half ago in the Alouettes. 1-4 is 1-4. There is a lot of runaway left, but I think I have to ask you, from your view, what are one or two big elements that you think have kept the team out of the win column more often than not so far this season?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's something I think people may have overlooked, but anytime you overhaul your roster, you're not really going to see your fruits of labor come as quickly. The teams that start the hottest, and I've noticed this over the course of the 11 years I've been in this league, the teams that start the hottest are the teams that have the most retaining players, the teams that are in training camp and aren't learning new systems. They're able to go out and run systems they're used to. They're able to get the camaraderie. They're able to find ways to win football games late because they know how the guy next to them plays, and they played with them, and they played multiple reps with them. So a lot of times when you have a new team and you have 3 new systems like we have, like at the end of the day, it can't be an excuse all season, but there's the veteran in me knows that this season was going to possibly start out slow, but there's no need to hit the panic button. I think we have an extremely talented locker room. I think we have guys that care about football and care about winning, and obviously everything seems doom and gloom when you're not winning football games. But if we want to talk X's and O's, offensively, staying on the field, and defensively, just getting off the field. Those are the 2 biggest ways to win football games in this league. And then I think the third one is being able to win the field position battle. Like, that is so overlooked in the CFL, in my opinion, where sometimes you might be punting, but you're not turning the ball over, or you're not, finding ways to give the other team a short field. And so I think playing the field position game leads to a lot more wins. So the more reps we get with each other, the more camaraderie we have with each other, just even doing today's Monday Morning Magic, like, that's a team camaraderie thing. We're all there together for the kids. That helps bring winning football. Now, we got to go out and do it on the field, but it's one of those things where you're almost tired of talking about it, and you're just hoping that you can work through the pain and find yourself on the good side of the outcome.
All right, you play the position that gets more scrutiny than any other, whether that's fair or not. The reports we have seen is that you and Tre were splitting reps. How's it? And I know maybe you don't know yourself, or you can't say yet, but I got to ask you for some sort of insight. How's it working at quarterback this week? How's the preparation going for Friday's game?
Yeah, listen, I'm a firm believer that the quarterback gets way too much credit and way too much blame in a team sport. But it's one of those things where I'm excited for the opportunity. This is the first time I've gotten reps with the ones since, the only time I've gotten reps with the actual ones is game live reps. But it's one of those things where I'm hoping that it's a 1A, 1B. And going into this season, I want to do everything I can to help Tre be the best quarterback he can in this league. Obviously, his runway is a lot longer than my runway as I get older. So just being able to share my experiences and, do everything I can to help him. And, sometimes coaches, people believe that, watching other guys take reps, and I know this for myself, when I watch other guys take reps, sometimes you learn a little bit more. Coach Killam just said, hey, you guys are going to split the reps this week. And I said, yes, sir. Tre said, yes, sir. We both are handling like pros. And let the people who make all the money and the higher ups make those hard decisions. But the best you can do is just try and instill some life in the team, some confidence in the team, so we go into a really tough environment versus a West leading team and try and put our best football on the field.
Cody Fajardo, Elks QB, joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Cody, you got Jay here. I just wanted to ask you, obviously the season hasn't started the way anybody in that locker room would have liked. You've been around a lot. You said this is your 11th season in the CFL. You've been around a lot of head coaches. Well, Mark Killam this is his first year as a head coach. How have you thought he's handled things? Because some people could handle a 1-4 start differently. You've been around. How do you think Mark Killam has been handling this, and what's his message that he's been given to this team as you start into Week 8 here?
I think he's handled it as a true professional, and obviously he got the head coaching role for a reason, and it shows. And everybody can talk and say things outside of the building, but inside the building, there's a lot of belief. There's a lot of belief between the coaches and players and coaches. And so we're trying to block out the outside noise. Obviously, when you win, the outside noise is good. You lose, the outside noise is bad. But I thought he's handled it like a true professional. I thought he's told the guys and been very transparent with the guys and how we need to get better. We put some stats on the board this week and kind of where we fit amongst the league. And I think that was a big eye-opener for some of the players and some of the young guys just to realize how fast this league changes. But I've been a part of this league when the BC Lions started 0-7 and went on to a Grey Cup. So we're not quite in full panic mode, and that's what I think I get from Coach Killam. A lot of, especially young coaches, might get in this situation and hit the panic button and say, oh, this is all doom and gloom and everything's terrible and we need to get rid of these players and bring in these players. Like the belief in the players is there. And so I honestly, I've been really excited about the message that he had coming off the bye week. I think we hit the reset button as a team. Now, will it equate to more wins? Hopefully. But I think the guys are feeling really energized and really excited just to try and find a way to win a ball game in a tough atmosphere.
Cody, you're incredibly generous with your time. I know you're not that far off from getting off the practice field, but you're very well spoken. We love your insight. I know fans love how you share your journey and your connection to the community and the fans. And thanks for being honest about what's going on with the football team as well. We wish all the Elks a great game Friday in Regina, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on here, and thanks for giving me the platform to talk about some football. It's always fun.
Right on. Cody Fajardo checking in from your Edmonton Elks. Well, he does not disappoint once again. I mean, we were talking a couple of weeks ago about players who could go into broadcasting.
That's one of them.
When they're done. I think that's one of them. Very honest. First of all, the message with him, you can tell he loves doing what he's doing, and he feels fortunate to be able to do it, to have the ability to do it and play pro football. As you and I were saying early, he is not going to tell us who's starting on Friday, even if he knows. And I don't think he does know. Do you?
No, I honestly don't. But that just drove home the message to me. Quarterbacks are different. Cody Fajardo, I don't care how Tre Ford's playing, does not want to be on the bench. No. Cody Fajardo wants to be in the game.
Right.
He wants to be the starting quarterback. There is no question. But in professional sports, you have to figure it out. And for him to say, look, it's my job. We're splitting it. This is my first time with Team One. Of course I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's just, that's got to be your attitude. And unfortunately, sometimes it means that the person that's ahead of you isn't playing that great. That's a teammate. That's a brother. But at the same time, this is professional sports. You've got to step up when your number's called.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see the decision, Reid. Obviously there's going to be a way to explain it either way. But this isn't the coaching staff from last year. This isn't, things have changed. So I just don't know how long this organization will deal with mediocrity.
Yeah. Well, then this is unfortunately right now worse than mediocrity.
Yeah.
He's a great interview. He's honest.
Fantastic.
I mean, he doesn't tell playbook secrets. Hey, Cody, what's on page 15? But he did say a team with a lot of turnover can take a while to get going.
That's a good point.
I buy that, but I'm sure there are Elks fans tuning in right now saying, what about Calgary? I mean, didn't they change their entire defense? No, they didn't change their head coach. I don't think they changed as many coaches as the Elks did. I agree with him, but I think even Cody probably knows once you get into week 10, 11, 12, 13, that's not going to fly as much.
Right. I just love when you interview someone, a professional athlete, that feels like they are as excited to be on this show as we are to interview him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's good. He's a great interview. Like he is not cliches. Like he tells you how he feels.
Yeah.
He tells you what's going on. He, like you said, he's sharing reps with Tre. He doesn't know who's going to start. I think it's an approach by Killam to say, okay, you're going to get equal time. It's a bit like to me, it's a very blatant internal competition thing. I mean, Killam could have come out and said, okay, Cody, you're starting Tre. So then what's the what's the divide, Jay, between the percentage of snaps for the first string and second string quarterback?
The first string gets reps with the first team unit.
Right.
The second string plays against the starting defense.
Because I remember I interviewed during the pandemic when we were, like Dusty and I were talking about this, how we're just doing interviews. Dave and I said, let's reach out to Ricky Ray and we'll just specifically talk about his year with the Jets. And he goes, if we ran 20 plays, I would get one.
Yeah.
He goes, he goes, you're never going to prove yourself, even if you are the best quarterback on the team.
That's true.
If they've decided you're in that position. I don't know. We'll see on Friday, but it's almost like Killam is saying, okay, fine. Well, you're going to get equal time. Who outplays who by Wednesday afternoon?
Well, and this is quite frankly a test for Mark Killam early on in his head coaching career.
That's a good point.
You know, this is a decision he's never had to make. He's never been involved in. He may have had input, but he's never had to put his seal of approval on it.
Yeah.
So this is a test to see where he goes. I mean, if you want to see and like I said earlier, test the mettle of Tre Ford, you go with Tre Ford. If you want to have a chance at winning the game, I'm sorry, but you go with Cody Fajardo. At least that's my opinion.
I think, and again, like we often talk about, starting Fajardo this weekend does not mean Tre Ford never plays again. You know, it's like when we get to the Oilers season, there's so much on like opening day roster. Okay, that's one game. But this team needs to get something going, and they need some wins. I think they need some belief with the fan base, and they probably need belief in the locker room. All the guys we've talked to, it seems like the attitude is decent.
Yeah,
but there's a point where it's like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah. Nolan from St. Albert in the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. If you have two quarterbacks, you have none. Elks got to figure out who their guy is.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'd still like to have two good quarterbacks, but I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying. Yeah,
I do too. And if Cody comes in and gets a start and wins, well, guess what? He's your starting quarterback. And for the rest of the year.
Well, we haven't that's a really interesting text because I know who was that said that?
Nolan from St. Albert.
I know exactly what you're saying, Nolan. I mean, that's certainly, but having said that, we haven't seen Fajardo as an Elk. Like if both guys had played 2.5 games and neither guy had grabbed it, then that's true. The only thing I would say to that is we actually don't know how Fajardo plays with this offensive line and this receiving core with the score 0-0, and he plays the entire game. So maybe by the end of Friday, we'll be saying, okay, it's Fajardo. We don't have neither one. One guy's obviously better than the other. Maybe, right?
Yep.
780-218-9999, as Jay mentioned, is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special. That is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. All right, here comes the Coob. We got your words of the day coming up. That's always fun.
Nine games are live right now with the Jays and Yankees runless in the top of the third. Kevin Gausman on the mound for Toronto with 2 outs for New York. It's Trent Grisham batting for the Yankees. Elsewhere, the Pirates lead the Tigers 3-0 in the third. The Angels hold a 1-0 lead on the Mets in the second as the Nationals are rolling the Reds 7-0 in the third inning. Hockey News sees this year's 6th overall pick, Porter Martone of the Flyers, committing to Michigan State for next season. He jumped ship from the CHL after he potted 98 points in 57 games with the OHL Steelheads last season. And for the Elks, 880 Cheds, Morley Scott has reported that both Cody Fajardo and Tre Ford took first-team reps on day 2 of practice. And down south, multiple sources are saying that Zach Tom and the Packers have agreed to a 4-year, $88 million deal. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show, including the words of the day, is up next here on the show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
EST Afternoons.
Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. I've been kind of counting them out every week against the Riders and the Bombers, and they keep shutting me up. But what are you seeing from the Stamps? Because it's damn impressive what they're doing.
I'm buying into the Calgary Stampeders. To me, I think they're better than the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Yeah. Vernon Adams, I've always liked VA, but I'd love to give him credit. He deserves a ton of credit, but it's that defense, guys.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons, 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
All right, good to have you tuning in this afternoon. We had an excellent interview with Cody Fajardo, your quarterback for the Edmonton Elks. Will he start in Regina? Well, there's splitting time with the first team offense, he and Tre Ford. So we'll keep an eye on that storyline. He was great again, talking about Monday morning match. He's not the rides. Can you imagine if the Elks were like, and on the injured list, these four guys, because they're have what do you call it? Inner ear. Like not an imbalance.
No, I had that.
A vertigo?
Vertigo.
Get vertigo from doing rides?
I had vertigo. That's terrible.
Doesn't that stay with you for a while?
I think it was, I don't know what induced it with me, but I was able to get over it and it hasn't come back.
Was this before or after you got money for being nude in public?
Well after.
Not connected.
No.
Do you want to read the limericks from VR and Nick, or do you want to do one each?
Yeah. You do Nick, I'll do VR.
All right, here we go. A limerick from Bronco Nick. He emailed reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. You can also email jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. We are creeping towards the Nasty Bash. What shenanigans will occur in a flash? Drinks will be had. Laughter will be rad. Hopefully I don't go home with a rash. Well, depending on where you walk nude.
This one comes in from VR Montenegro. Jay's driving is psychotic to various degrees. Slow pokes move to the right and stay there if you please. Glue guy is a peach. One time at the beach, he made money for being 2 balls to the breeze.
There you go. Wow. VR is one.
That was fire.
Clever old boot. He really is. That's a good one. We love getting your limericks. We love how everybody's improved with their limerick writing over the time of this show as well. Speaking of the email that we gave, we'll focus on Jay's for this one, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. He is always accepting nominations for the Pasta Pantry Athlete of the Week.
Yes.
I think we're up to 5 weeks already. It's off and running. We've profiled some incredible, all younger athletes. I guess late teens might have been our oldest one.
Yeah, Abby, we just had on was 17.
Right, when we had the football player.
Yeah.
He might have been the oldest one.
I think, Carson Hartman.
Carson, right. So send them in. Nominate anybody. This does not have to be a heroic player. This does not have to be the best player on his or her team, but we like a good story. So if you're giving a nomination, give us, a few sentences about this person, why they are deserving to be nominated. I'll give a great example of someone who'd be cool to nominate. You know how they do the Wayne Gretzky Award for Minor Hockey Week?
Mm-hmm.
So I wish I could remember the young man's name. He's probably now a man. He's probably in his early 20s by now. But part of the reason he won the Wayne Gretzky Award was not because he was good at playing minor hockey necessarily in Edmonton, though I think he was pretty good on his team. as a teen, he started a drive to collect socks to donate to homeless shelters.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it can be something like that. Hey, this person plays on their team, or these kids play on a team, but they did something else in their community, you know, or they raised funds, or they helped people, or they got involved with a charity, or they mentored. So, you know, they're 15 and they coached as well, you know, some younger. It can be anything like that. So and you're getting nominations, but we want as many as possible. We want to have to make tough decisions on who to profile.
Yes.
Is that fair?
There's a lot in there. We'll get to them.
Yeah, we'll get to them.
You know, we'll get to them. There's one I'm circling for this week that is just crazy.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Okay, that's good to know. By the way, we're coming to you from the banquet studio. Avocado and feta dip, passion fruit cheesecake, and cocktails that taste like summer in a glass. Try the new feature menu at the banquet. Refreshing, craveable, and made for sunny days. The banquet. Get real. Play hard. All right. We better do our words of the day before we go home. Well, you're going out for a romantic dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I guess I shouldn't make assumptions about your personal life. It is your 18th wedding anniversary.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
Okay. First word of the day, Favonian. Favonian.
Favonian. That's a fun word.
Is it?
Favonium?
Favonian.
Oh, in.
Favonian.
Favonian. I'm putting down a few different options here. What looks right? I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with my second instinct.
Okay.
Favonian. P-H-A-V-O-N-I-A-N. Was I close? No, I blew it.
No, you were very close.
Does it start with a PH?
No.
It starts with an F. Was it my first instinct up here? Look
Let's
at this.
see.
Look at this.
Well, what do I always say?
F-A-V-O-N-I-A-N. That would have been right. I thought, once I started thinking about it, I thought, oh, it's got to be a PH at the beginning.
Maybe you shouldn't think.
Oh, I shouldn't think. I should just write it down and
I've
read
said
it out.
This. Yeah.
Or I should just not even write it down. I should just spell it in my head.
Out.
Oh, my goodness. So Favonian, is this a scientific term?
Yeah, kind of. It's an adjective.
Does it have to do with an era? Like
No.
Okay, give me this sentence then.
Summer jogs felt easier with the Favonian air drifting through the park.
Something relating to early in the morning and fresh?
No.
Oh, crap. 0 for 2. I fail again. Story of my life.
Especially of wind, mild, favorable, or auspicious. When describing or in talking about wind.
I make Eeyore look like he has energy and success. All right, before we do the last one, I want to remind everybody, Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta, your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now. Start playing today. Jay's play of the day is in progress, right? Because you have the Jays and the Yankees over 8.5.
Yeah, they're at zeros in the third right now.
Okay,
That's,
so still very
lots
much.
of
It's
time.
still very much in play.
Second word of the day, hubris. Hubris.
Hubris. Hubris is sort of basically kind of conceit, arrogance, having a even unfounded belief in yourself, perhaps.
Very good description.
Such as the starting quarterback was full of hubris despite having been pulled in his last 3 games.
Ah, very good. Hubris is a formal and literary word that refers to a great or foolish amount of pride or confidence.
Yeah, it almost implies unearned confidence or excessive confidence. That's why in the sentence I used, he was full of hubris despite having been pulled.
You nailed it.
It's kind of like, why do you think you're that good when you keep getting
Why didn't you do that on the first word?
Because I failed.
Favonian.
Well, I pulled out a 2 out of 4 to start the week, which is not
We had our wedding
terrible.
at the Favonian Gardens.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It made me think of, that's why I said, is this related to an era of history or like the dinosaurs roamed the earth?
That was the Favonian era, Reid.
All right, we're going to go now.
I think we got to bring Coach back.
Yeah, we got to.
What are we calling him?
We got to clarify. This is a coach character we came up, who sort of has. He barks orders to the point that you can't understand what he's saying.
He's just go.
And he's so used to doing it, he doesn't form his like. He's been coaching probably 45 years. Like
he's almost
everybody now.
Yeah, he's almost a mix of the Coach off the water boy. You know,
right? And just a really
fast talker.
Really fast talker. Okay, we're back tomorrow. Live programming resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. I think we got a pipeline show. Is that tonight? We got a pipeline show? Coop, is it the pipeline show? I think it's the last one for Guy. He's awesome. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and the glue guy, Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Talk to you tomorrow.